Hmm. Hello, my profane friends. How you doing? This is the secret of Freemasonry. This is their code. But while you're sitting indoors thinking of all these little things, this is what they're discussing. I'll show you. All right? And you've got to watch that fraternal intercourse. You know what I mean? That's the dodgy one. Anyway. You want to go live with me? Who want to go live with me? I don't get it. Right. This is what they're thinking of. Okay? See how well organised this gang is? This army? Master powers and duties of a grand master. Look, you see. But I'll show you something in a minute. What they're talking about, yeah. Where you don't discuss any of it. I know none of you do. I'll show you. Look at all them. Look at all the powers they distribute on each other. Look. Grand wardens, grand treasurer, grand secretary, grand lecturer. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. Grand Bible bearer. And don't forget, on top of these, you've got assistant grand Bible bearers, assistant grand deacons. Do you know what I mean? Look, committees, look. They've got committees about your public schools. You see what I mean? They're getting involved with everything. Now, wait a minute. How do I share this? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, 2 seconds. I'm going to try and share this. I've disappeared now. Well, hopefully that worked. Anyway, I don't know. So back anyway. But see what I mean? This is what they're discussing and what they're looking for, you see? Public schools, look, you see? Masonic education, completely different to public schools, trust me. And you think you're just going to walk in and you're going to shut all this history down? Thousands of years of history? You ain't shutting nothing down, none of you. Thousands of pounds they get. I thought that was intent to supply drugs. That's actually the intention to apply. Oh, baby. Just watch that Masonic intercourse. Public skills discussion. Look, how many of you are discussing your public skills? None of you. See, and the thing is, the public fundraising they do, yeah, only benefits themselves. It doesn't go to any profane people. You know what I mean? Mad, isn't it? And you think you're going to vote them all out? Look at that, look how many pages I've done already, and this is what they discuss, and this is in every lodge around the world, by the way. Obviously we're dealing with the Masonic code here. See, and when they get a life membership, they get, you know, like when they're made up to like Master Mason, I've got a book somewhere in 1980, they were getting £100,000 tax-free in their bank. So you imagine what the price is now. If it's £100,000, yeah, to become a Master Mason, what were they getting when they become a Mark Master Mason? Do you know what I mean? Or a Knights Templar? Because obviously they're paid to learn the rituals, if you didn't know. Race and religion, not a condition. I wonder what that is. I'm trying to look for people, if anyone knows. What on Jehovah's Witnesses this? This has nothing to do with Jehovah's Witnesses, but they're just as bad as the Freemasons from what my research has told me, so yeah. Right there, let's see if I've got any more. You are interesting, Mr. Pash Boss. Who else? Sorry, I won't keep it up. I thought the number of the devil was agreed to be 616, as it was a mistranslation. I don't know. Right, if I don't get to your thingy, I'm sorry. Right, anyway, let's keep going. Qualifications of voters, qualifications of a master. Do you see what I mean? You think you're just going to oust these people out of power? Of course they ain't. They're going to fight. The powers of a master, look. You know what I mean? Duties of a master, decisions of a master. Do you know what I mean? Crazy, that what they do. Cipher rituals. Discretionary expeditions on the list. That sounds dodgy. That's all dodgy, mate. But if you look, yeah. Refunding relief advances. Get that. But they're paid for all this, you see. See, look, these are all the. This is. They put them on trial. Yeah, their own members. They got their own courts, their own system. You know, they're a nation without a country, but they own every country around across the world. Do you see what I mean? Foreign convictions. Do you know what I mean? But they're not never leave. Once you're a Freemason, you're never out. You're never ever out. You know what I mean? You can get kicked out of a lodge, but that don't stop you going to another lodge. Do you know what I mean? And the reason they take for internal courts, if you, for instance, if a Mason hires a profane person over another Mason, then he can take him to court and charge him, and he will be fined for not hiring the Mason in preference of the profane person. Do you see what I mean? Oh my God. Hello, Google eliminate backwards. Yeah, you're bloody right there, mate. It's tired, it's late here. I just thought I'd give you an insight into their books and how vast. And this is where the wars break out. The clandestine lodges, yeah. This is who they fight, yeah. There's other lodges and that, you know, you've got a world lodge, do you know what I mean? And then you've got a country lodge in each country, and then from them they go down into the states or the county, do you know what I mean? And then you've got the town and city lodges, do you see what I mean? So, but you can make a lodge up anywhere you want, you know what I mean? It only takes a certain amount of people to do that. I'll get a look at this. See, this is it. Look, Masonic organisation, any group, a chapter, which is within lodges. There's orders within lodges. There's clubs within lodges, like I'm trying to think, like the Lions clubs, Royal Voluntary Service for Women, all of that type of thing. Yeah, Cubs, Girl Guides, Scouts. Do you know what I mean? That's all Freemasonry run. Do you know what I mean? What are the other ones? St John's Ambulance. Things like that. That's all to do with Freemasonry. These are the youth orders. Like I said, you're born into it, yeah? This is what their children are learning, yeah? Order of the Rainbow, Order of the Job's Daughters, and Order of the domWis, yeah? Now, the Order of the Rainbow Girls is like teenagers, yeah? The Job's Daughters I think, and is it the other way round? Wait a minute, I forget. And there's another one. They're not done. The domWis are the boys, yeah. There's the young one, like say junior schools, yeah. Then you've got the seniors, which are these, the two here. I think the Rainbow Girls are the younger one, and the Job's Daughters are the older ones, I believe. But there's another one they're missing out there, is when they start off in like preschool, like in the creche, if you get what I mean. Is it the creche? You can see that in my Masonic Increasing Army videos. Do you know what I mean? But they haven't all, you know, like I said, you're born into this, you know what I mean? And the ones that are born into it, it's their job to get others that are stupid enough to fall into the trap of being a protection for them. Do you know what I mean? So when they stand up and go, oh, that don't go on in my lodge, do you know what I mean? Then it comes. See, the seal, see what I mean? It's Rome, you know what I mean? Egypt, the Great Seal, you know, same as America. California Corporations Code. Look. Mad, isn't it? The amount of stuff they do. See what I mean? I think they're going to change the lodge, which is in England, the UGL, United Grand Lodge, to the Supreme Ultimate Grand Lodge or something. I know it's got Supreme in it, and they are changing it, on their way to changing that. Because I see United Grand Lodge, they're turning it into the Supreme United Grand Lodge, I believe. That Supreme Council. Do you see what I mean? Look at that. The Supreme Power. Do you see what I mean? That's all it is. Masonic power or Supreme. You see what I mean? The power they bestow upon themselves. Do you know what I mean? And the ancient landmarks. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Their power knows no bounds. See, officers. They ain't called officers for nothing. They're called officers because they're army members of a grand army, of a supreme army. You know, even the grand organist is at it. You know what I mean? On the old organ. General powers. The Grand Lodge is the supreme Masonic power and authority in this jurisdiction and is invested with all the legislative, executive and judicial powers, limited only by strict adherence to the ancient landmarks and by the provisions of its own constitution and ordinances. It alone has authority to charter or grant dispensations for a Masonic lodge in its jurisdiction. You see what I mean? And you think these people don't control your towns and your states and your cities? I mean, of course they do. They run everything. Have we got any conspiracy dudes on it? Or truthers, should I say? Huh? Are there any truthers on board? Yeah, Kevin. Cool. You obviously know about Freemasonry. Do you follow me, or you only just come upon me? A little, only just. Yeah, that's the trouble, you see. All of us know nothing about Freemasonry, you know what I mean? That's why they've called us profane for like centuries. Do you know what I mean? Decades and centuries, they've called us profane. Oh, shh, here's a profane, be quiet, shh, shh. Do you know what I mean? And that's all they've ever done, because we're without the temple. But you look at how big this book is, look. Do you know what I mean? Do you think you're just going to oust them out of power within your towns and cities? They've took over every town and city across the globe, yeah, or across the world. I've got to get away from that. Well, if you're going to join, be a spy. You know what I mean? But as soon as they know if you're against them, you'll meet an accident. You know what I mean? They will kill you. You know, they've got no problem with killing people. These, you know, they're so powerful. It's unreal. Do you know what I mean? And the trouble is, what they do, that when they're killing people, people are not putting two and two together. Do you know what I mean? At all. See, jewels of office. Officers. See, and all it is just like like Hitler's army. Do you know what I mean? Same thing. It's like the SS. And the Gestapo. You know what I mean? This is the different ranks of Freemasonry, and they're all got a different job to do. And that's keep an eye on the profane. The difference is now Hitler did it out of Berlin and spread across the world. Freemasonry is already across the world, and they can do it at any split second. And I mean that the lodge can rise up with their guns, put anyone and everyone to the gun. Do you know what I mean? Who they need to, because they own the councils, so they know where you live. Do you know what I mean? And they can get everyone who's a truther, line them up and shoot them. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. And most of the sheep that already do nothing anyway, when they do a big, they did the 9/11 towers, they did JFK. They know the profane, that's stupid, and they only have to keep people quiet for 5 or 6 years, and it's shushed up and gone anyway. Do you know what I mean? No one talks about it because they know people that are profane won't do anything against anything what they do. Basically, who's going to do anything? And no one's going to say nothing, because most of them, if they've been shot, they ain't going to go risk their own lives. Do you know what I mean? And people don't. It's all right standing up and getting arrested here, there, and everywhere. That's okay getting arrested, but once you start shooting people and putting people up against the wall, that's when things change. People go, "Oh, I'm not going to say nothing." Who do you trust? I mean, at the end of the day, who do you trust? Who's a Freemason around you? Do you know? No, of course you don't. Do you see what I mean? But their eyes and ears are everywhere, and they can tell who's a Freemason because they know the signs. During the war, when they were being attacked, or persecuted, as they like to say they weren't being persecuted. It's just that Hitler and his Freemasons, what were at war with the Freemasons he was getting out of town, he knew they were his enemy and what they could do. So all he did was take out the enemy, which was another Masonic lodge or another Masonic castle, and just take them out. Do you know what I mean? Because he knew they controlled the towns and the cities. That's why every town and city he invaded, he made sure he went after the Freemasons, because they are the ones who controlled the cities and the towns. And all he did is replace the Freemasons he killed and shot. He replaced them with his own Freemasons. That was the Night of the Long Knives. He did every one of them. Then what he got on the Night of the Long Knives was all Freemasons. You know what I mean? But they don't mention that in history, you see, because people who conquer don't mention it. Do you know what I mean? Especially when it's to their advantage, Bloody late here, I'll tell you. Powers and duties of elected officers. Do you see what I mean? The SS, the Gestapo, whatever you want to call it doesn't matter. They're still doing the same job. They're spying on you and making sure you don't play up or become a problem within any town or city. You know what I mean? They learnt that. They learnt that the hard way, especially with Hitler. Do you know what I mean? But they did the same with Joan of Arc. You do the research on Joan of Arc or Napoleon. Every Freemason that has ever had power or to do with war has had a bunch of Freemasons steering him where to go and what not to do. JFK, all his security were Freemasons. Yeah, they're still today. Freemasons. Protecting Boris Johnson, all of them, they're all Freemasons, all surrounding our prime ministers and our presidents and all the rest of it. And if they start coming out of tune and not rowing the right way, that's when they get an assassination attempt. Do you know what I mean? And it's the Freemasons that wipe them out and take them out. You know what I mean? Because they still want it to be unfair. So when you say, oh, there's a vote, there isn't a vote. You know what I mean? They do the numbers, they fiddle it. You know what I mean? People are groomed from a very early age in Eton and all these top-notch schools through the lodge. Job's daughter, the demoles and all that, and they're just put in place, and they're groomed for that position to be a prime minister, to be the president. You know what I mean? And that includes, you know, when there's governors as well, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or what's the other one called? Bloody back in the day, I can't remember. He was another movie star, weren't he? What was his bloody name? But you know what I'm on about. Yeah, the main managers of all big companies, they're all Freemasons, and they're all working for the rich families, which again, you know, if you keep away from going Illuminati, and I can't remember their bloody names now, what they call it, like the Rothschilds and all them malarkeys. Do you know what I mean? If you look at them and do the research, you'll find that all the families are all connected. It's just like a Game of Thrones. Do you know what I mean? You know, cousins and uncles are looking after towns and cities, and they're looking after companies. Do you know what I mean? And they're paid well to do that. You know, and their desires are given. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Sorry, I ain't picking up on the writing here. Wait there, True Talk. You know that posh lips. The Illuminati better have been invited. I'm not sure how to. Wait there. Do you think there's a chance they might have the right idea? Do they know something we don't? Well, they do, but I think from Master Masons down have no clue what is actually going on. They're getting privileges, yeah, you know, they're getting the privileges, and, you know, they're getting money and paid well, you know, and they're getting their arse licked by the, you know, the under subordinates, yeah. But I think Master Masons and things like that don't have a clue what's going on. Do you know what I mean? But they get the power because they're allowed to drug deal and, you know, do all that sort of stuff, you know, ride around in the big black UV cars and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? But it all boils down to families, you know, that, you know, like the 5 families in New York, yeah? That's the same as that. Do you know what I mean? And you get that in any town and city as families that are well-established family members, yeah, of Freemasons, and all they do is just keep willing it down every decade, you know, and every century, you know, and they just will it down every time and keep the power. And I'm talking about the people that run your cinemas, they run your piers, they run your nightclubs, do you know what I mean? And all of that malarkey, do you know what I mean? All the right down, because if you do the research like I have, you'll find out, like, for instance, do Brian Harvey with the Red Rooms, yeah? Who owned the nightclub? Who were the door bouncers? Do you know what I mean? Because you're not telling me the people who are running the door on the, you know, the bouncers on the door weren't aware of the Red Rooms. Do you know what I mean? Of course they were, and that's the point of it all. Do you know what I mean? And then if you go to the, you know, the Red Rooms there where the children were, do you know what I mean? And who owned the club and who were the doormen, do you know what I mean? Straight away, that's giving you an indication of what was running all doors up and down the country. Because then you go to the Cray twins, yeah, and Wilf Pine. Wilf Pine looked after Black Sabbath and other bands that he sold to another criminal, which is in his book, which is An Englishman and the Mafia. You know what I mean? Look it up on Google it anyway. But Wilf Pine then went to Isle of Wight, and if you know about the paedophiles all in the Isle of Wight and all that, yeah, where they retire, which is ex-criminals, yeah, they're still alive. You know, they've handed it down, obviously, to other people. Wilf Pine's dead now, and so are the Crays and all that sort of stuff. But they've handed it down to the next generation of, you know, criminals. Do you know what I mean? And that's all they've done. And they're running their criminal empire through Masonic lodges. Do you know what I mean? And that's all they're doing. And they're standing toe to toe with the police. Do you know what I mean? And the police are working in cahoots with them. Do you know what I mean? I know because I've got it all, you know, like from my own research. And do you know what I mean? So just look, they're learning all the while at whole schools of instructions and instructs the officers of the lodge in the ritual, yeah. And this is they ain't just see. This is the basics, yeah. What's missing from here is the real teachings. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What they do within your communities. Do you know what I mean? And they're paid for it. And all they do is trick people. So long as they keep the power for 10 years, do you know what I mean? Or 20. Then they've got a next generation to trick, do you see what I mean, for another 20 years. Because no one knows about Freemasonry, and I'll show you that in my videos. I walk around all day. Do you know anything about Freemasonry? No. You ever heard of it? No. you see what I mean? So if the devil, and I don't get into the religious side of anything, yeah, because again, that's all distractional stuff. There's only good people and bad people, do you know what I mean? And sadly, the bad people are in control, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Again, I don't get into whether it's Jesuits or this or that or the Illuminati again, because it's, you know, again, it's families, bad people controlling everything, and it's just like their cousins and whatever are controlling the police stations, the town halls, and everything else, and that's just willed down. You know what I mean? And they're groomed for them positions every time, every decade, every 20 years, whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? And again, you can see that in Hollywood. If you look at, for instance, as a good example, if you look at Clint Eastwood's sons and daughters, they're all in the movies. Do you know what I mean? Obviously not as big as him, but they're going to take Clint Eastwood's son, preferable over your son and your daughter. Do you see what I mean? Like David Beckham and Victoria Beckham's sons, do you know what I mean? They're already stars and catwalks, do you know what I mean? There's only certain positions you can get in life, do you see what I mean? And they're going to hire them people out before anyone else is going to get a chance, do you see what I mean? Because it's preferable to have David Beckham's son walk down a catwalk than your son or your daughter, because they're nobodies, do you see what I mean? And that's what it's all about, nepotism. Do you see what I mean? Same as the football league, yeah? You know? They're all groomed from a very young age. You know? See, look. And this is what they do. Look, 9 members each, yeah? And this is what they do. And 50 members. Do the, you know what I mean? Do the maths, do you know what I mean? And this is what they do, you see, and they keep doing all this sort of stuff, right, with the numbers, and they put committees on people, the profane, you know, like if you're a truther, yeah, and you know, and they hear you around your town or your city, yeah, I guarantee you're going to have a group of people follow you and see what you're up to and who you're meeting, you know what I mean? You go to a truther group and you try talking about Freemasons, you won't be able to, because they'll kick you out. Because you're not allowed to talk about Freemasons. Shh, keep quiet. Don't talk about Freemasons, what they're up to in your town or city. I know because I've done it. You know, I've been kicked out of many a meeting, you know, and they were all controlled by the same people. And I'm talking about 100-mile radius, yeah, of where I live, yeah. There's 4 groups, and each group is controlled by the same people. And as I'm going into the groups, they're ringing up the other group to say boom boom and talk, you know, like ejecting me from the bloody groups. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't want anyone learning who's in the groups about Freemasonry, and then they just sit there talking about like mind melds in other people. You know, like, oh, do you ever get the feeling you can, you know, meld a mind with someone else in another village? Or they'll go on about chemtrails. You know what I mean? Things that people can't do nothing about, you know what I mean? They talk, all they basically do is talk and give people a placebo, yeah? And the placebo, they sit there and they think, oh, I've done something, I've gone to the truth of me, and then we've done something, we've talked, do you know what I mean? But you've actually done nothing, because all you've done is been distracted into thinking that you have done something, you know? And that includes all them people that walk on, you know, what's happened, all the people that marched on London all over the last 2 years, what's happened? Nothing. You know what I mean? The politicians that were responsible for that are still walking free. You know what I mean? I don't think people realise what's actually got to take place. You know what I mean? For you or anyone to get these people out of power, right, you physically got to go into every police station, every town hall, every MP has got judges, magistrates, anyone that's a Freemason with power, you physically got to arrest them and put them on trial. Do you know what I mean? And strip them of all their assets. And they ain't got, you know, that's what it's got to take. But no one's, you know, who's going to do that? Where's the army to do that? There ain't, you know what I mean? Because they're protected by the laws. Because if you went in to do that, even if you did citizens' arrests or whatever, the real police, what are Freemasons anyway, if you know my videos on the Masonic police symbolism, they're going to protect them. Do you see what I mean? And they know that. And that's why the police are there. They're not there for us. They're there for them. to protect them. And if the police can't do it, then the next thing you'll get is the Masonic army step in. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Right, wait there. Do you think it might be a chart? Right, I did. Wait there. And if we don't know, would it change our opinion as well? I don't know. Right. Main managers of big companies, yes, they are. Can you go back to 1080 powers? What'd that mean? I've got a friend who is one, and yeah, you're on the right track. Oh, I know I'm on the right track. Guys, Google Illuminati backwards. Do you own an Audi? No, but most of them people that are part of the Freemason fraternity own an Audi, and from what I can see, they have a blackout window and they never get pulled over. But where did you get all the info from? Well, from my books, Kev. You know what I mean? Their own books, you know. And like I said, I think outside the box. Do you know what I mean? Because if someone says to me, I'm a magician as well, right? So that helps. And I like reading, you know, I like Columbo and all this sort of stuff, you know what I mean? And Sherlock Holmes and, you know, real mind stuff, yeah. But so when someone says to me, oh, look in the Ukraine, I'm not looking in the Ukraine, I'm looking somewhere else, because that's where they want you looking at the Ukraine, because that's where the distraction is. It's somewhere else where you've got to be watching what they're up to. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? You know, submarine. You know, that submarine that went down. You see what I mean? That's a distraction. Everyone's posting about it. But what really happened? What was the cover up? I don't know. You know, do you see what I mean? This is what you got to realise. And they keep us looking at Washington. They keep making us look at number 10 Downing Street. But where we should be looking is rousing people up in our communities and saying, well, who are the bad people? Who controls the drugs? Yeah. What businesses do they own? Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell you, as soon as you start, that all leads back to the Masonic Lodge anyway, because they run all the pubs, they run all the clubs. Do you know what I mean? They run all the shops and all the stores down your high streets. Do you know what I mean? And up all the important places. Do you know what I mean? And if there is somewhere where there's an important place where there's shop and there is one for rent, you try renting it. You won't be able to rent it. You know what I mean? Because you're not Freemason. You know what I mean? You won't get nowhere, mate. And that's what it's all about. You know, you go down our road here, which is called Regent Road, full of shops and that. You know what I mean? There's a few drug dealers down there, you know, that own the shops. You know, obviously to put their money through for fucking thingy. But you can go higher up than that, if you know, like I said, with my research. But that's another story. But if you look into the shops that are up for rent down there, you try renting one and you can't. Do you know what I mean? Because the Freemasons in the lodge own it all, and they deem fit to see who makes it and who breaks it. Do you know what I mean? And if you ain't a Freemason and you ain't rowing in their team, you ain't getting nothing down there. Do you know what I mean? That's owned by well-established people. You know, like Docker's, do you know what I mean? The Docker Rock Shop, for instance, he's a Freemason, and that rock shop's been there for decades. Do you know what I mean? Same as some of the chip stores and the market stalls. Do you know what I mean? They're by people that have been well established within this town, that built it. You know, their families built this town. Do you know what I mean? And they've got a big say in it, but you never hear about them and you never see them in the paper. Do you know what I mean? But they're in the background, they're running it all. Do you know what I mean? And they're siphoning money left, right, and fucking centre. You know, and they own all the companies. You know, and when there's like an indoor market or a tower market or whatever, that's all Freemasonry based. Do you know what I mean? You know, and they're running it. You know. See, it's all money. But the money you see dealing here, you got to think about it, right? So every shop they own in your town, yeah, let's put it this way: they own all the buildings, right? Yeah. So straight away, any leases, yeah, they may be owned by Mr. Smith or John or Percival or whatever, but that all goes into the lodge. They're just representing that. Do you know what I mean? They're just a figurehead for that company. Do you see what I mean? Like there was a company here that was established, say, for instance, in the 1800s, right? Yeah. Has been 500 years, right? It's 500 years old, this company, right? And, you know, they had a Masonic floor in the front of the company. You can find it in my posts. I think I've got it somewhere anyway. Inside it was all Masonic flooring, It was red and blue, red lodge, blue lodge. And then what I just did a company search, right? And that one PO box, that one postcode, the postcode address, owned over 600 companies. Do you know what I mean? In and around that shop. Do you see what I mean? 600 companies in 500 years or 100 years, whatever it was. I think it was 250 years. So in 250 years, that person had established 500 other companies from that address. Do you see what I mean? And that's all to do with Freemasonry. So there you go. And so you imagine, where's the room for the people in this village for themselves? Do you know what I mean? There ain't no room. Look at Colonel Mustard, for instance. Yeah, he built Corton. Yeah, all the houses there are owned by him. They've all got his initials on the front of the house. Do you know what I mean? And this is what Freemasons do. They're builders. You know what I mean? You go try putting a village up anywhere. You know what I mean? Or start your own town. You won't be able to, because the first thing that'll ride up, it won't. Obviously, back in the day when you tried to do that, you had knights ride up on horses, kill you, move you off the land, and then put their family members on the land. You'll tend to this and that and whatever. Do you know what I mean? But what they do now, because that's already been done, instead of knights rolling up, you just get the police and bailiffs come up on you. Do you know what I mean? They just ain't got their horses, their shields, and their armour. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they do. You try doing it. Try just living on the beach. You know what I mean? Go down onto the beach, set a tent up, and I'll guarantee within a few days you'll have the police come on and they'll move you on, because you're not free. Nothing's free. Do you know what I mean? They own it all. They own it all. I don't even know. Right, wait there. I don't even really know what I'm doing, to be honest. Wait there. Right, how did you find them? Find who? The Freemasons. The Freemasons have been in my life a long time. I'm a vomit, a victim of Masonic ill treatment. But the thing is, people don't realise that they are vomits themselves, and we're all victims of Masonic ill treatment. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't go out and buy business. If you're stacking shelves in Tesco's and Sainsbury's and things like that, then you're okay. You're cool in the gang. Do you know what I mean? But you try setting up a business, that goes in direct competition with any and then you can't make a business, because any business you think of or want to do, the Freemasons want that and they want to own that, and you're in direct competition. So let's, for instance, you start a taxi service, you put 5 taxis on the road. The first thing you're going to find, is your car tyres are going to be slashed. You see what I mean? Or they're going to be burnt out or whatever, and you'll start finding problems. When you take them in to be repaired or MOT'd, those people who own the garages that are Freemasons are going to stuff them and make sure they break down. Do you see what I mean? And that's what they do, And if you ain't sure how that works, just look at any crime film, and how they work. Do you know what I mean? And you'll see it all the time. They tell you what they do. You know what I mean? And it's constant. Do you know what I mean? But people don't see it on that bigger scale. You get a business, you start, and then your car break down. You go, no, fucking car, and you blame the car. But you don't look beyond that, where it's the garage doing it, or some little twats come round and done it, on purpose. I'm not saying it's constant, but enough to hamper you and make your business. Also, again, they'll walk around, the Freemasons, they'll give a directive in the lodge like this, and they'll say, disparage that business's name. So people go, oh, he ain't very good. Oh, he's this or he's that. Do you know what I mean? So people then don't use you. Oh, use this company, that's better. Do you see what I mean? And they'll refer you to, to their company. Do you know what I mean? Like their pubs, because they own all the pubs. So the pub landlord will say, use this taxi firm, so no one will be using your taxi. Do you see what I mean? And this is what they do all the time. You got no chance. Do you know what I mean? If you're profane, you can get a job in a factory. You can stack shelves all day in Tesco's and Sainsbury's, but you try doing something that's within the community, because the community is Freemasonry, not you, the profane. The community and what runs the community is Freemasonry, and they keep that going in every town and city. Do you see what I mean? Mad, isn't it? You know what I mean? And this is what Freemasonry do to people, but people don't look at it. They don't realise it, because what it's all about. Shh. You know what I mean? Oh, and like I said, the distractions of that is, oh, Mr. Smith owns that chip shop, or Mr. Jones owns that barbers, or Mrs. Smith owns the hairdressers, she owns the nail bar. Do you know what I mean? Blah blah blah. But either way, Freemasonry at the end of the day gets a cut and a slice of the business. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're hiring or leasing that lease, do you see what I mean? And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you're still paying into that Masonic lodge because they own the lease of the pub, they own the brewery, they own, do you know what I mean? They own it fucking all, do you know what I mean? And you own nothing. And they ain't going to have profane people like us get rich, so we'll be standing there with the Lords, Dukes and the Earls, do you see what I mean? Everyone's got their place, and you, the profane, won't be getting anywhere. And the only people they, like I said, they have they have their numbers, yeah. Like I said, a worshipful master will only take that position for a year, and then someone else will take it, yeah. But the point of the matter is, you can only have certain numbers in chapters or in lodges, yeah. All right. And they're growing anyway all the time. But the people that are growing and helping them, unbeknownst to them, they're just becoming a ring of protection for the corrupt people that actually run the lodges. Do you know what I mean? And I'm talking about the crime syndicates, the outfit, whatever you want to call them. Do you know what I mean? And their families, their family, well-established families that have, that have been in established, long-time family established businesses. Do you know what I mean? Crime lords. And that's all it is. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look at if you've ever seen Broadwalk is it? Boardwalk Empire. Classic example there. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, like I said, Freemasonry just ain't running businesses. They're running gangs. They're running biker gangs. Do you know what I mean? The 1%ers and things like that. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of the biker gangs don't even realise it, because they don't look for it and they don't know. Do you know what I mean? That's how it is. Do you see what I mean? When they shut the door on the prospects and all that, and then you just got the sergeant at arm, the president and whatever, if all three of them, for instance, the top, say there's top 5 figures in a biker gang or a scooter gang or whatever, are all Freemasons, and they shut that door and the rest are all outside security making sure no one listen in, they just open the lodge, do you know what I mean, and have a meeting, and then he'll hop on his bike out of the meeting, he'll go to a Masonic lodge. Do you know what I mean? No one's watching him. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to drive up in his colours. He's going to drive up in a fucking in a car. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever, and go into that lodge and then report what his gang's doing. And if someone needs a job doing or whatever, because that closed lodge, just talks, as they go higher, they talk different things, and they talk about drug dealing or killing. Can you do that for me? Yeah, I'll see what the boys are, and they'll pass the job on to someone who's profane even. Do you know what I mean? He does it. He thinks he's doing it for the biker gang. Do you know what I mean? But he isn't. He's doing it for Freemasonry. Do you see what I mean? As a favour. It's crazy. They run it all, but they, you can take that to another. Forget the gangs. Look at the army. They run the army, the UN and all of that, all the top people run the army, the navy, you know what I mean, the air force, they run all of that, absolute manic. But people don't realise it, when I see a policeman, that's not a policeman, that's a Freemason, you know what I mean? He's just not wearing his frigging apron. If we force them to wear their aprons, all the Freemasons, you'll be like, wow. Do you know what I mean? If you know the pictures and the posts I've done, like Masonic Increasing Armies, when they've done the meeting, like the meeting, for instance, at the Royal Albert Hall, you know what I mean? Look at that army that's stretched across there. Do you know what I mean? And that's in every town and city. You look, I don't want to say too much, right? Because obviously I do a lot of different things here, but if you know where to look, you'll find the hidden lodges. Let's put it that way. You may have a lodge, like I've got 2 here, but there's actually 8 lodges in Great Yarmouth, yeah? Right, I think it's 8, but there's some hidden ones, or what I think are hidden, because no one fucking knows about them. And you see the cars there, do you know what I mean? Same old shit, the men go in, the men come out, do you know what I mean? And, I'm sorry I'm not doing too much of this, but I'm talking, obviously. Wait there, where did you get all your info from? How do you find them? Just find a reason to fill the news feed. They just find reasons to fill the news feed. Yeah, we are the people, no surrender. You know that, Mr. Larkey. And they're heavily involved in Big Pharma. Yeah, they are the Big Pharma. They're not involved in it. They are Big Pharma. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Anything you eat, see, or drink, yeah, comes from them. Your computers, that's them. You know what I mean? Hollywood, that's them. The army, that's them. Your sheets that you go to bed with, the mattresses, the beds that are made, everything, all factories are owned by them. Do you see what I mean? So there ain't nothing that you ain't, you know, and when they want to do a famine, they stop the supply because they run all the companies that run the trucks. Do you see what I mean? And shit like that. You know, and they pretend, oh, there's a strike and this. That's all a fucking game. It's all a show. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they can cause famines like that because they run the infrastructure. They run the truck drivers and the lorry companies. Do you know what I mean? And all that. So when there's a shortage of something, it's not because they're not doing this and that. It's because they've had a direct order from the Freemasons to create that fucking problem. Do you see what I mean? As a distraction or something else. And this is how Freemasonry plays it, you know. And if you research history and when you research history and look at it and think Freemasonry, then you know the sort of tactics they can do and get up to, you know. You just got to look at the wars, what they did during the wars, you know what I mean? Because they're the ones that are involved in it all. First World War, Second World War, Civil War, Spanish Civil War, the Russian bloody thing and all that, do you know what I mean? And they're responsible for all that, you know. I've got links to it, obviously, on the forum. Just look it up, you know. Again, look it up, you know, research it. And just think Freemasonry, they're responsible. And like I said, they can make people and they can break people. They can make countries and they can break countries. Do you know what I mean? Because if you ain't following or doing what they fucking want, you're had it. You know what I mean? But like I said, people need to look on the smaller scale. But even like I said, people in power don't relinquish power. And if you think like all of this, right, yeah, all of this is for nothing, and you're just going to run them out, you ain't. You know what I mean? They're going to do what the Nazis did. You're going to have to take them out right at the bunker, bombing their bunker. You know what I mean? But the sad thing is, they're going to cause a war before anyone gets smart enough to think of it, or a distraction. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, they'll say, there'll be someone, you know, like the Judas Goats. They go, right, we're going to meet, boom, boom, and wherever you meet, they'll bomb it, and then they'll kill every truther within one hit. You know what I mean? And that's it. And they'll do that in any country, because people will forget about it. You know what I mean? They'll blame it on someone, obviously. You know, but it's all to do with them. Nothing to do with anyone. You know, people, normal families, yeah, you know, that just want to live, make a home for themselves, have some money, live comfortable. Do you know what I mean? They don't go out doing what the Freemasons do. Do you know what I mean? They don't think like the Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? But the Freemasons do, because they've got a big invested, whatever it is, in what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Which is the power, you know, the money. Do you know what I mean? Sadly, a lot of them that are in Freemasonry don't even know they're helping them, you know. Right, we are the, you know, so, big pharma, yeah. The Freemasons must have built the cathedrals. Yeah, they built them all, you know what I mean? But again, you got the, you know, again, I don't get into the different empires and that, you know, and there's big wars and different things, but there is a hidden history, you know, and we don't get it, you know what I mean? No one gets the true history of what we live in today, do you know what I mean? And like I said, the conquerors make the history, don't they? And sadly, Freemasons have conquered everything, and they're the ones that make the books and the, you know, and everything else. Right, there. Just got the #1 gifter badge. What's that mean? I don't know what that means, sorry. I'm a grandmaster of the mark. Then you have a grip on all that's right and know exactly what I'm talking. Add me, we will be in contact. What do you mean work with you? What do you mean? I'm doing a documentary on them. They offered me linen to stop etheric energy. You're right. I know I'm right, baby. He knows his stuff. I certainly do, my profane lad. The fourth rake. Yeah, again, like that, what was it they did? The Nuremberg trials, yeah? That was all Freemasonry. That was all the show, yeah? No one really went on trial. Do you know what I mean? That was just a show because all the Germans went to the UK and America and everywhere else. Do you know what I mean? They went, yeah, you're my brothers. Well done. You caused the war. Do you know what I mean? You killed millions. You've depopulated. You've given us all the gold and the wealth that, you know, that was stolen across Europe and every other country. Well done, my profane, you know, my Masonic brothers. Do you know what I mean? Come back to where we are, and you can give us how you know what you learned with the experiments with the Jews, all that, you know, all the experiments of like keeping someone alive and all of that sort of stuff, you know, prolonging life and that blah blah blah. That's what they learned during that war. You know what I mean? You know, different medical treatments and all of that malarkey. That's what they were doing with the Jews. You know, they didn't just stick them all into the gas chambers and all of that malarkey. They were experimenting on them, you know, physically, you know, trying to, you know, prolong life, you know what I mean, and all of that malarkey, because that's what they want. They want to keep their lives long, you know, and, you know, obviously enochrome and all of that rubbish, you know what I mean. And like I say, when you got war, kids are displaced, you know what I mean, and easily can disappear, do you know what I mean? In fact, if you look up the UN, I did a post on it the other day, I believe, you know, look at all the raping and the killing they did. You know, they did children's racketeering for children, prostitution. They were selling food for sex. And this is the UN troops trying to protect the people. Do you know what I mean? So don't expect any help from the army if the Freemasons rise up, because they'll be right along with them, raping and pillaging everything and anything they fucking want, just as the Germans did. Do you know what I mean? Mad. Anyway, let me carry on. Yes, I had the fourth rate. Come on, son. He knows his stuff. Yeah, anyone who's listening, you know, you can go to my forum, which is Zazon Boney. You can find it in my videos anyway. Just look in my videos, you'll see it. I've put links in there, and then you can go to my YouTube. If you go to my YouTube, the two most interesting videos, or you know, is the Masonic Increasing Army, the Masonic Shush Kids, and the Masonic police symbolism, yeah? And you'll see that's all connected, yeah, to what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I explained it a little bit better in the videos. I'm not a professional, you know, like with the videos and that, but there's enough what the Freemasons call domWis. domWis is wisdom, knowledge, yeah? Because, again, they mix words up like Boaz, and instead of saying it Boaz, they half it, and it's actually a Boaz, yeah? So can you tie a bow, yeah? And then as well as any man can is the reply. See, that's the secret how they, you know, communicate, do you know what I mean, behind our backs, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, can you tie a bow as well as any man can? And when they spell it, they start it with an A, B, O, and then the other geezer's A, Z. Do you see what I mean? But that's how they find out, which is a grip, you know, a Masonic grip. But that's how they, you know, do these little signs and techniques. You know, like, for instance, if you're walking in the street and you see someone, a man, you say, hey, you see my dog run past there? And the guy will go, did he have a blue collar on? You know, Masonic collar. And he'll say, yeah. And he'll say, was the dog's name Hiram? Do you see what I mean? And was he this tall? Then he'll give a sign, and then the other guy give a penal sign. Yeah, he was this tall, that sort of shit. Do you know what I mean? But that's how they do it. And does it? Where do you live? Do you live at number 33? Do you see what I mean? All of that sort of shit, all that symbolism and that right, and you've got to say it right, and they know you're a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? But there's other tests as well, what they do. Right, in a nutshell, energy, you're right. They offered me. Right, he knows his stuff. Yes, lad. The fourth rake. Yeah, you're bloody right. Come on, son. You think like the three Masons. What I'm showing is this is, well, basically this is the California Masonic Code, yeah. The Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons, the state of California, yeah. And what I'm showing, basically, all of this, right? Let me just put a oh, what page am I? Bloody, I get confused in this, dude. I'm showing you, I'm basically saying, do you think with all these people that have all this power, right? And I'm showing you like all their different, you know, their different ranks, look, yeah, their different committees. Wait there, I'm having to do like two-handed here. Their different funding, you know, their revenue, their constitutional lodges, their clothing, do you know what I mean? Their voting, the bylaws, powers and restrictions they have. Do you know what I mean? Public school discussions. You know what I mean? They could discuss everything about us. Do you know what I mean? But how much do we talk about them? Nothing. Not a thing. They know everything about us. And because they run the town halls, they know exactly where we live, who's a threat to them and who in. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you're a threat to them, and anyway, so that's basically some of the table of the contents. There's loads of it, look, yeah, because the book is vast, yeah. You know, lifetime memberships, look, you see what I mean? These people have been, you know, you're born into it. This is you are literally, if you're a family member, you're born into it. You're like a Rothschild, you know what I mean? And they're in each town, each city, and each state, do you know what I mean? So you've got the main families running the state, or the counties, do you know what I mean? And then all their relations, like their sisters, their brothers, or whatever, run the towns and cities within that, and the villages, do you see what I mean? And they're the eyes and ears. And then all their little relations will be the business owners, you know, the ones that run a successful business within your town or your city. Do you see what I mean? And that's what it is. The rest are all profane, you know, the workers, the peasants, the slave, you know, the slaves. But that's what I'm saying. So basically I'm saying this book here with all this information, yeah, do you think you're going to take these people out of power? They ain't going to let you anywhere near them, do you know what I mean? And once you do, like I said, they're going to do exactly what every other people do when you try to take power off them. They're going to fight. And then you're going to see these people rise up as an army, as a unit, as a gang, and they're going to start taking you profane people out. What is this you're showing? I'll just do that. There was no Holocaust. Again, you're quite a smart man, Mr. domWis. Yeah, again, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Wait a minute, let me think. Let me just find my other phone and I'll see if it's there, because I'll be able to show you a little clip of wait a minute. Ernst Langst. Ernst Langst. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Wait there. And what he did, he went to the courts, yeah, and he took the Jews to the court. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, because it's fucking like anything you say nowadays is bloody thingy, isn't it? Bloody. Wait there. Let me just find it. He took the Jews to court, and believe it or not, he won the case. Yeah, he was shushed up, put in jail. All the old favourites, you know, anything just to keep the what's his name? You know, like there's the secret Masonic victory of World War II. I've got that on there, which is a brilliant thing on the war. Let me just see if that'll come in, if I've still got it on here. Brilliant that is, look. Brilliant. Watch it. It'll learn you. Yeah. Dennis Wise, complete version. Yeah. Watch it. It gives you a lot of information. Oh, I've just gone the wrong way. It's on Google anyway. I shouldn't really use Google. I know. Stop moaning. Right. Then wait a minute. Battle of the Brotherhood. History of the people not talked about. Again, another good video. Yeah. These are a must watch. Yeah. Passing through the fire. Yeah. History of a people not talked about. That's on BitChute, that one, yeah. Another good video. But wait a minute, the one I want to get for you. Oh, mate, I can't find it. Ernst Langst. I'm sure it is. Wait a minute. Ernst Langst. Wait a minute. If not, I'll search it up and I'll have it in about 2 seconds for you, mate. Stick with me. Oh, here it is. Off Your Knees. Yeah. This is for Done the Maths. Yeah. Again, it's on that Internet Archive. His name's Off Your Knees, Germany. Ernst Zundel. 1983 to 2003. The full documentary. And what he did, he took the Jays to court. Yeah. And he questioned whether there was a Holocaust or not. And he actually won. You know what I mean? Because there was no Holocaust. I'll leave it. I don't think that's going to... Right. I'll give you a little idea of what's going on here. Where can you get a copy? I get mine off the internet, mate. No Jews. Yes. William Tompkins. I don't know who that is. Just use VPN. Yes, that's right. Oh, wait there. Oh, Christ. Nearly blocked you. Wait a minute. Right, let me just turn this up, sorry. That is turned up. Why ain't it working? Wait a minute. There we go. Right.
Every time I think about the damage that's been done, the anger wells inside me till I'm almost overcome.
You are a legend. Keep closing over the moon landing. Yeah, again, the moon landing, the Freemasons control NASA. This is off Your Knees. Watch this, dude.
Sinful subtlety, your heart may never hunger for the truth that sets you free. Your soul may know the darkness of divine eternity. Like petty thieves who plunder in the shadows of the night, they break inside and enter through the windows of your mind. How can I control this poisoning of the soul? These lies.
I love that song. But anyway, let me go forward a little bit. Just to give you an idea.
10 years for in Anglo-Saxon justice, that one of those rights was the right to face your accuser and to know the charges against you. We have gone right back to the age when kings tossed their political opponents in jail in the Tower and threw away the key. The right of habeas corpus has all but been erased from this country, and all of that to fight terrorism. But who's the so-called terrorist? A political dissident, a man who has done what? Published. Some people like what he published, some people don't like what he published. That used to be called just plain freedom. Ernst Zundel is a pacifist. He has been a pacifist all his life.
They threw him in jail because he wrote a book and he took the Jews to court, yeah, and questioned the Holocaust. You know, what the Jews said happened during the Holocaust. You know what I mean? He questioned it. And because he questioned it, and obviously it goes against the narrative of what people don't want to hear, they've jailed him for it, you see. They made you a target individual.
Never before had those known as Holocaust survivors been questioned on the veracity of what they claimed.
We walked up to the courthouse steps and we were confronted by the most unsightly group of people that you ever see outside a courtroom.
They were terrorists, and it was outrageous that the government of Canada allowed them to congregate there for the express purpose of trying to assassinate you and to kill your attorney and your supporters. And they made their very best effort. And if it had not been for some young men that you had gathered around you that without pay voluntarily came forward to protect your person and the person of your attorney, as well as your research staff, serious bodily harm would have come to you. And I believe that Samizdat has film documentation of that, videotape documentation of the assault on your lawyer and on you on the courthouse steps of...
Let's get a little bit more, but yeah, definitely watch this. Do you know what I mean? He took them to court, you know. There's other films I've got like similar to this, which are, you know, again, it's all, you just got to realise it's all to do with Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? So long as they keep that divide and conquer going between the profane, they're happy. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, you know. But yeah, this is what this book is. I'm just giving you like a, you know, again, the officers' associations. Do you know what I mean? Because this is an army, yeah, and the army resides right within your town and city. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, like I said, Hitler did it from Berlin. These people ain't got to do it from Berlin because they're doing it from every town and city. And when these people rise up, we're right in the shit, mate. You know what I mean? Believe it, we're well in trouble. You know, because these are well organised. You know what I mean? Like I said, they've got ranks. You know, they, you know, if you read then, this is a Masonic book, remember? If you read their if you read their what do you call it, their Knights Templar books, yeah, then you'll see that there's a completely different ball game. You know, they're drilling, you know, with swords and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? Unreal, mate, unreal. But that's what Freemasonry is all about, you see, being an army, and they're against anyone, everyone, regardless of who you may think you are or you ain't, yeah? These are against them, you know? You know what I mean? Who was that geezer I posted the other day? An Enemy of the People or something, yeah? I think it was Steve McQueen did a film on it, yeah? And it was about, you know, where he challenged the narrative, do you know what I mean? On something, I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, that's, you know, but he become an enemy of the people, do you know what I mean? Like all truthers, you know, if you come out with the truth, you know, like me, for instance, you become an enemy of everyone, even though you're speaking the truth. Do you know what I mean? You can say, oh, you know, like you say, for instance, if I, you know, and I do it a lot, I say that's a drug dealer. Do you know what I mean? Everyone turn against me. You know what I mean? I'm not the one selling drugs to your kids or anything. He is. But you fucking hate me for it because he's dealing drugs to you and you think he's your friend. Do you see what I mean? That's the craziness of people. Do you see what I mean? You know, I'm not keeping you living in poverty. Your face is not sunk in and your teeth have gone out your head because of me. That's because of him. And he's driving hit on a big, you know, SUV or whatever because of him parasiting off you and your family. Do you know what I mean? Being a parasite. You know what I mean? But people, because I say that, hate me for it. Do you know what I mean? It's mad, isn't it? You know, I've become a hate. You know, people hate me because I speak the truth, you know, and that's mad, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But that's the life it is today, you see. If you're popular, you know, and you buy a couple of pints in a pub, then people, you know, 100 quid or 50 quid or 20 quid, they respect you for that. Do you know what I mean? And it gains a lot of respect, doesn't it? You know? Yeah, he's a lay on, you know what I mean? Here's a couple of grams and all that. Do you know what I mean? And people respect that, you know, even though I ain't done nothing to them. I haven't killed their mum. I ain't killed their dad. I haven't killed the sister. I haven't, you know what I mean? I ain't overdosed anyone or done anything. But because I speak that truth, they don't like me for it. Do you know what I mean? Fucking mad. You know? God, I wish I sold heroin. Maybe I'd had some friends. Do you know what I mean? Right there, let's have a look. Yeah, incalculable. Verse 7. They make you out the spiritual oath, noise in the neck, the back, and one to the throat, and noose. What site's that? Downloaded what from? I don't know how to write on here, mate. I don't know how to do things on here, mate. Do you know what I mean? Oh, interact. What's that do? Lightning question and answers. I don't know what that means. Text poll, quick poll. I don't know what that. I don't even know how to write or type on here, mate. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what to do, to be honest. Thanks for the diamond, whoever gave me that. I don't know what that means neither. I just got one. Total views, 934. One gift, 3 new followers. But I don't know what I'm doing, mate. I really don't, sorry. Can you send me the site for downloaded this from? Downloaded what? I don't get what you mean. If you go to my forum, Zazon Boney, there's a book section there, yeah? You can find the link in my videos or on my Facebook and that. And there's a book section there where you can download loads of Masonic books, yeah? All their ritual books and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So, like this, yeah? I'll show you, wait a minute. That's Zazon Boney there, look. Zazon Boney, yeah? And then if you run down to the book section, here, look, Masonic book scans. You've got all different Freemasonry books, conspiracy books, everything. The anti-Masonic book here, look, has 2 presidents. I've got to add some more into this. Quincy Adam letters to the Masonic institution, yeah? You read to them in that, yeah? And it tells you about the corruption. But you've got to join the site to download the books, obviously. Let me go into this one. Get in there. You know, and then you can go like that, and there's the book, and then at the bottom, obviously that give you the different pieces and that, and then here you just download it. But I'm not logged in, but there's a file attached. When you click the file, you can download it. Do you know what I mean? And then you can have it for yourself or do whatever you want with it as you see fit. You know what I mean? We've got a Masonic book scans, but there's loads of books in each one. That you see what I mean? Oh Christ! You know, like there's 18 books in there, 18 books of Albert Pike. So if I went to Albert Pike, for instance, click in there, you can download all of Albert Pike's books. Look, you know what I mean? That's all the Albert Pike books. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so you know, help yourself. You know what I mean? My forum is more of a statement rather than a discussion. Do you see what I mean? It tells you what Freemasons are and what they do. Do you know what I mean? And then if you know the particular author, then you know you can do it by yourself. Each E to A, I to L, M to L. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So if you know the author's name, then that'll be, you know, if it's like Shelley Klein is in P to T. Do you see what I mean? Then there's Templar books there, and Shriners and Oddfellows. I've got so much to add in here. I just think, you know, like I said, it's finding the time. Do you know what I mean? I've got over like 3,000 books. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Rudley Sharp, God's Battalion of the Case of the Crusades. Do you know what I mean? Some books I've written in, you know, I've done it myself, you know, and shit like that. But yeah, go to my forum and that'll explain a lot. I'll show you my YouTube as well in a minute. But again, look, you know, I've got to fill in all this Illuminati signs, you know, Masonic book scans, vomit, which is people that were gang stalked by Freemasons, yeah, victims of Masonic ill treatment or targeted individuals. Oh, I pressed that by mistake. And tagging authorities in the missing master cases and post it. Yeah, missing master, again, that gets into the master numbers and the bloodlines, that does. But you've got gang stalking stories, and they're all done by Freemasons, because again, this is what they do. They put a committee of people on you, and they gang stalk you. Do you know what I mean? In different ways and different techniques. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got the drugs. You know, kids killed by drugs. Look, yeah. Right now, look at this. Look, right, look. Drugs in school. My own personal words. You can read what I think of it. The 1-year-old son died of a drug overdose. 11-year-old boy who lives in home tested positive for cocaine. 23-month-old baby drug death by methadone. Do you know what I mean? And these are all kids, you know, 13-year-old, you know, from babies up to, I think I took it to about 21-year-old, I think, you know, people in college and all that, you know. And, but it goes on, look, 10-year-old boy for you. Who's protecting these children from the drugs? Do you see what I mean? See, look, 14-year-old girls, 18th birthday, 14-year-old girl dead, and a 13-year-old girl remains in hospital. Do you see what I mean? And there's pages of it, look, 9 pages of it. Do you know what I mean? But who's talking about the drugs? No one, because the people who do the drugs are the Freemasons, and they're very good at shushing shit up. Shh, keep quiet, don't speak about it, you know what I mean? But they're the ones flooding the towns and the cities, because so long as you've got people that are docile on drugs or looking for their fix, they're not thinking about anything else, are they? Do you see what I mean? And they know that. You know what I mean? It's the government what puts it into it, you know what I mean? It's the government, the police, they're all involved in it. You know what I mean? And there you go. And the thing is, cocaine and heroin is compromised the government beyond belief. Do you know what I mean? You know, they did all the drug testing around Westminster and all that. Do you know what I mean? And come up positive everywhere, you know. But there you go. There you go. Like I said, so that's the drug dealing side of things. And, you know, you've got the vomit section. But the biggest, like I said, and you need to understand, is their shush god. Yeah. And you need to read about the shush. You know what I mean? I'll tell you all about the shush in there, yeah. And the psychological control and abuse of the shush. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't want any child that's been abused to speak out. They want them to be quiet, shush. You know what I mean? And they're abusing us all the time. Do you know what I mean? Through different ways. You know, whether they're stopping your, you know, like sanction you with universal credit, or they're taking your children away from you in their Masonic courtrooms, do you know what I mean? And all of that malarkey, do you know what I mean? That's all Freemasonry, do you know what I mean? And they're punishing you all the time, do you know what I mean? And people don't realise they're victims of that, but you will keep quiet, you will shush up, and and that each victim is isolated, do you know what I mean? Whereas it's in every town, and it's not an isolated case, do you know what I mean? It's a mass case, but everyone shushes up and don't come together on it, do you know what I mean? On who's behind everything, and it's Freemasonry. But yeah, this is all about shush Freemasons. So if I go to shush Freemasons, for instance, right, because they're shush God, right, that is the God of silence, yeah, this is the first thing they learn in the lodge, yeah, right, is the shush. That's why I always go on about it. Shush ups. Shh, shh, shh. See, there he is, look, the sign of silence. That's the Freemason. You'll have to read it yourself. I don't want to go, spoil the treats for you. But there's their altar there, look. Right, this is a Masonic altar. Now look at the front of the altar, look. See? There's their shush god, you see? There's the pyramid. You can see the pyramid, obviously. Oops. Like I said, I'm not too good. But this is a Masonic altar. You know what I mean? Worshipful Master's chair, blah, 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 blah. But there it is, look. You see? That's the first thing they learn in the Masonic Lodge is the shush. Do you know what I mean? Shh. Don't speak. You know what I mean? But again, in life, like I said, it's all about... wrong button. It's all about... continuously, like, if you looked at my videos and I show you the square and compass, the 232 and all of that bollocks, yeah, it's continually seeing it, yeah, that subliminal message put into your head, yeah, and that's what it's about. So why do well, I don't need to, I suppose you can answer that yourselves. So why is there shush angels, for instance, right? Because that gives the priest, yeah, right? And again, look, here it is, look. This is 20 times the Bible tells you when to keep your mouth shut. Okay? Right? There, right? Now, the reason is you can get away with abusing people a lot easier if they know how to keep quiet and shush, yeah? Do you know what I mean? And this is why they got shush angels, because they can be used as a threat by the priest to say, look, keep quiet, or you'll have a shush angel after you. Look, shh, don't say nothing, keep quiet. And there he is, that is hypocrisy's there. That's the Masonic God. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, they've infiltrated all the churches anyway. But again, I can go on and on and on. You know what I mean? You need to research it yourself. You know what I mean? I can't, to get this. The trouble is, it's so vast. But again, look, they do it through the celebrities, yeah. Like this, look. See, like, and about the celebrity shushers, Again, if you search on here, Dr. Masonic Who, you'll see that Dr. Masonic Who, yeah, or Doctor Who, I called it Dr. Masonic Who, but if you see it, the program was specifically made for Freemasons. But this is why you see, look, shush, shush. They're subconsciously telling you to keep quiet. Shush, don't say nothing. Do you know what I mean? But they're also saying, shh, don't say nothing within society to the profane because they don't know nothing. Shush. Remember your shush vow in the lodge. Do you know what I mean? Remember your shush God. You know what I mean? Shush. Don't tell anyone about what the fuck is going on. Because all these people here, they're all connected through Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? Look. And I show it in all their films. You know what I mean? So these are all, like, I can't remember what age that, I need to open my fucking brain a bit. But again, all of these are different films, different actors, all doing the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? And I can do that with any sort of symbol. But that's what that's about. Shush, keep quiet. The profane, us, don't know what the fuck's going on. How about Disney? Another good Masonic establishment. Do you know what I mean? But again, if I can press the button. Again, look at the Disney characters. All that's that program now. I can't remember what that one is. Sorry. But as a film anyway, I think it might be Beds, Knobs and Broomsticks, don't quote me on that. But look at the shushers all in Disney, you see, because they're subliminally put into your head, do you know what I mean, through these people that know the power of, like, what you see, you know, like that's dragged through an airport, you know what I mean? It's continually put into your brain. Wherever you look, wherever you see, it's continually put into your head to keep shush. I mean, this guy here, look, he's got opium, look. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, look. Good gosh, opium, you know, and that's a kid's cartoon. Do you see what I mean? So, and then you got the rides like this, you know, what Disney do, you know what I mean? Look, you know, subliminally in again their rides and their different things, do you know what I mean? But shh, don't say nothing about it, keep quiet, do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. But we're coming up on it now, we're learning about it, you know what I mean? And the symbolism's, you know, evolving, you know. Shirley Temple, I don't know if you know about her. Look at, yeah, I'll give you an example. Yeah, this is Hollywood, yeah, you know what I mean? Shush Hollywood, yeah. But this is where it all come from. Look, see, there she is, look, when she's a child, shush shush shush, as she's an adult, yeah. But this is her, look, as a child with the stars, look. See? Kissing all the men, look. You see what I mean? She's like, I don't know, I can't remember how old she was there. But, you know, look, looking romantically. I can't see what I mean. But once you learn it, do you know what I mean? Like all these Freemasons, you know what I mean? This is what it all go. And then you go back to certain people that have been sacrificed that were kids in Hollywood. Then you get it. Do you know what I mean? I've got shushed on. What, you know, you can go into what's been shushed up, and whistleblowers and heroes. You know, again, shushing them up, because people who speak up, they need to be shushed up. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about. You know what I mean? And it goes on and on and on. You know. Oh yeah. Oh, not that one. You little bugger. Oh, it's hard to work this one of bloody when you're on the phone. Like shush kids, look, right? Kids should be seen and not heard, yeah? Again, read it, right? Because this is what it's all about. And again, I'm doing a bit of thingy. And again, it goes through. But the kids are doing it, look, you see? And they're reinforcing that shush, that you will keep your mouth shut. And you learn that in school. Don't be a grass. Don't be a telltale. Don't be a tittle-tattle. Do you know what I mean? But why are they... Look, why is it prevalent? Look, that's a film, that is. I can't remember what film that is. But... Look, see, tell you a secret. Mouth to ear is Freemasonry. Mouth to ear, keep your secret in your breast, you know what I mean, of your brother. See, mouth to ear, mouth to ear. You see what I mean? Goes back decades, do you see what I mean? You're not seeing this because it's a fashion thing or fuck all. It's a fucking message to keep quiet and shut your mouth about paedophilia. Do you know what I mean? And that's what that's all about. And that's all Masonic, you see. Them oh, what was this? I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, I think let me go there, we'll have a look. You know, but that's what it's about, you know. It's all to, you know, to do. I don't know what's going on here. I think some of you may know this anyway. Oh, can't remember this. I'll have to have another look at this myself. Butchie. Yeah, I'll have to have a look. You know what I mean? But this is what it's all about, you know. Slavery and all of that bollocks, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Plenty there, but people don't, you know, like I said, unless you're research, and I can't force people to go and look through my forum or read, you know, reading is boring for some people, so they won't, you know, they won't read, you know what I mean? And if you don't read and research or willing to do that, then you won't get anything. Do you know what I mean? But again, look, this is what the shush up is. Look, see Westminster. Do you know what I mean? You know, these are all like, you know, the people that are supposed to be, you know, are, you know, control, you know, like are in charge of the whole fucking continent. Do you know what I mean? But they're all like abusers. Do you know what I mean? Jimmy Savile, King Dodd, Daniel Westbrook, Shush interview. You know what I mean? All of this. Jersey Island, corrupt Masonic islands, it's all paedophiles, you know what I mean? Fucking madness, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's my shush section. So learn about shush, do you know what I mean? Because that's the biggest psychological thing in the whole of the whole planet. You know what I mean? It's the shush, and then obviously I've done you all that, the charities and the different, you know, the wives and girlfriends of Freemasonry, the scripts they use. You know what I mean? There's Masonic films and games, you know, but you know what I post, you know, well, I hope so. You know what I mean? What's this? Wait there. Baba Guja. I don't know who's who, mate. I don't know. Sorry. Wait a minute. So I've done that, the vomit. So done the drugs and what the police get up to. Children's services, CASFAS. Now again, look. See, in the United States, it's states. Yeah, here it's county. You know, Norfolk, Scotland, Wales, CAFCAS, and all different corrupt charities. Yeah. But if I just give you Norfolk, where I'm from, yeah. For instance, yeah, this is what runs Norfolk County Council. Yeah. Which are Freemasons, you know what I mean? Because they run your town hall. So it's just the North. And all they do is move people about, you know what I mean, when they're sacked and that. And then if you read it, you know, you'll see that, look, here's a demo. 19 social services were sacked, right, out of the office, right? So if there was 30 people working in the office, that's half the workforce that were corrupt. Do you see what I mean? That's the crazy numbers you're getting. But they'll say, if out of them 30, them 19 were corrupt, but the other 11 people are all good. Do you know what I mean? They weren't involved. You see what I mean? Oh no, there was 35. That's 35 social workers sacked already in 2 links. Do you see what I mean? All done in the space of 2 months. And the people who were left are supposed to be the honest ones. No, they're the ones that just didn't get fucking caught. Because if they were all, for instance, if they were all, if the ones that were left were good, they would have been grassing up the ones that were naughty for years upon years. Do you see what I mean? So the whole fucking unit should have been sacked. Do you know what I mean? So you don't leave anyone bad in place. Do you know what I mean? But they don't, do they? So anyway, see, look, the top leader of the social services sacked. Do you see what I mean? And then that was 4 years later. You know what I mean? And again, it's the same thing. Look. Norfolk and Suffolk Council and police sacked for breaches, you know what I mean? Because they're liars and deceivers. And that's to get people's children off them, do you see what I mean? See, and people, but you know, you've got to read it, you know what I mean? But there's a common denominator in all of it, you know? And I've been posting about it for years, you know, the family courts and everything, do you know what I mean? But it's never fair because the people running it are all Freemasons, you know what I mean? And you ain't gonna get a fair trial at all. Again, this is my YouTube, if anyone's interested. Stuart McIntosh, look, bang, your channel, and there it is. Look, that's my channel. And then you got my, like, if you go to my playlist here, like that. And you want to go into the Masonic Shush Up. Obviously, there's a lot of videos in each one, yeah. Masonic Shush Army, yeah, you go in there. And then you've got the Masonic Shush Kids, yeah, where they shush up crimes against children. And then you got the Riding the Goat, yeah. And then you got the Women's Mass Masonic Ritual. And then that's the roundup of the videos. But then you want to watch the Masonic Increasing Armies, yeah? There's like 12 of them or 13 of them. I think it's 12, yeah, 12. I did the latest one 4 months ago. But they did them 2 years ago. And it tells you all about the Masonic Army. And here, this one here, again, this tells you about the Spanish War. This tells you about the Civil War. Do you know what I mean? I tell about different wars that were all Masonically, you know, they're responsible for wars. Do you know what I mean? And then this one here shows you, I'll play it for an instance to give you an idea.
I mean, what
now,
you know,
like, this is all the Cub Scouts.
What are they being
I did
awarded
a
for?
post on it the other day saying that.
And recognised that sign and
Like,
had
see,
the ropes
it's always to do
removed
with
from their
young
necks,
people, yeah?
thus sparing their lives. This, us. See, all they
Right, let me go forward a bit.
do you know what I mean? Giving it.
There's loads of information about Freemasonry. But what they do, the Cub
cadets,
Scouts are all
Army cadets, you know what I
Freemasons,
mean? 'Cause
yeah?
that's
All
where
the
they recruit
leaders,
everyone
right?
from.
And then at the end
You're
of the
thinking if
video,
someone asks a question,
I'll
I say,
show
we are.
you
So I've
that
got this going.
there was other, like,
You see the generational gap just here, can't you? Yeah.
see, there's a
The old
generational
dudes,
gap,
yeah.
look. See, from the young
And then you
kids,
got
look.
younger and younger
And
until
it's
you got
young,
the little
and it's
ones at the
handed
front.
down
You
each
see what I mean?
generation. You see what I mean?
Then you've got this
That's
again,
all to do
another
with the
generational
Freemasons.
thing.
You see what I mean?
Okay,
But anyway, the
Freemasons,
profane
yeah.
ones
Again.
in there all got abused and that, yeah, over 500,000, I believe, and not once mention of Freemasons at all, even though all the Scoutmasters were Freemasons, but nothing to do with Freemasonry was mentioned. Why? Because they run the papers, do you see what I mean? And they run the news medias, so Freemasonry is never mentioned in anything, do you see what I mean? Then you've got Masonic churches. Yeah, and that's it, really. That's my, you got this one here. When you watch this one, this tells you about the ritual here is how they find their assassins, yeah? Or who's a good Mason and who's a bad Mason, yeah? Black and white, yeah, if you want to call it that. Who go through a left door, who goes through the right door. Do you know what I mean? And what you can see here, I don't know if you can see it properly. You'll have to get that. Obviously, go to that's me dressed as a sheep.
How are you today? Here we go with another
Like
one.
I said, I'm not professional at these, but what happens here, right? Yeah, as you can see, the sheep is tied down, the chest is shaven, and the sheep. If you can see that, I don't think you can because of the camera's bad. He's gagged, right? So he's got a gag over him. And the guy here, this Mason here, is pretending to be the voice of a man, yeah? The worshipful master here is holding his hand and guiding it on top of the sheep, right?
My profane
Bloody
friends,
thing.
how are you today?
Sorry.
Here we go.
So he's guiding his hand over this sheep, yeah? And what that man feels, right, who's blindfolded, the candidate, he feels a bare chest, a warm chest with blood pumping through it. He'll feel the sheep's nipple and think it's a man's nipple. He already thinks it's a man because the man down here on the floor is going, please don't kill me, please. And they'll say like he's betrayed the lodge or whatever. He's a nonce or a fucking rapist or something like that. He's raped him, someone's, and we've got him here, blah, blah, whatever. Right, so as far as this guy who's blindfolded knows, he has a man on this table. Right, now this is what happens. Whether he stabs that sheep or not, remember he thinks he's stabbing a man. Right, whether he stabs it or not is right. Okay, you can never do wrong in Freemasonry. So if he doesn't stab it, yeah, they'll say, "Oh, well done, brother. You're showing it," and obviously they'll just see the sheep there. Yeah. And that is his experience of that ritual, yeah? Right? And that is it. And he'll go through the left door and he'll go into particular chapters or particular lodges that only people have seen that ritual. Yeah? All right?
This is the International Free and Accepted Modern Masons, including an Order of the Eastern Star.
Anyway, yeah, they get killed in rituals. Anyway, so he'll go through the left door and he'll be directed by all those previously that have been in the lodge for decades and decades and handed down. He will be kept in the left-hand lodge, for instance, or a left-hand chapter, yeah? Now, if another person stabs the sheep, right, he's physically thinking he's killing a man, yeah? Now, what happens, this worshipful master will read a spiel off to him. He'll say, you, this, that, or the other, like in ritual, and that's just a line of words, not meaning nothing or anything. It's just a stall and delay, all right? Because what happens, they collect the blood from the sheep, yeah, in the bucket down below here. They untie the sheep, right? Yeah, they drag the sheep off, and then they put a corpse on there. Yeah, or a baby corpse. It don't matter what it is. It depends on the level or the grade or what, And then what they do, they then stab the baby, yeah, or they stab a young child through the heart, or a man, doesn't matter, yeah. And then they put the blood, what they took from the sheep, over the corpse, yeah. Right, because remember, all Freemasons are undertakers, yeah, and they deal with the corpses, all a bit like Jimmy Savile, yeah. They got the use of the bodies and whatever, yeah. You control the hospitals, which they do, and you're the undertaker, and you control the morgues. What's to say you put a body in that coffin when you're burning it? Do you see what I mean? You don't know, do you? You've got to trust the people who are burning the bodies, you know what I mean, or whatever, or just taking that body temporary just for a night for this ritual. Do you know what I mean? And then it's put back in the morning. Who's going to see a stab wound? No one. No one is going to undress a person in a coffin to see if there's a stab wound on it. Do you know what I mean? There won't be no blood showing anyway, yeah? No one's the wiser except the Freemasons running the show. Do you see what I mean? So, but again, you've got to trust them people not to do that, ain't you? You know, and we know the sort of horror stories what have gone on with people and corpses. So what's to say when that coffin goes through the doors to get cremated or put in the ground to be buried, that corpse is actually in there and they ain't took the head for a Masonic ritual. Do you see what I mean? Or they've took the skeleton away for their, you know, for their rituals and things like that. Do you know what I mean? This is where they got the body parts, you know, and they got skeletons in their, you know, lodge rooms and heads and all that sort of thing. But they use fresh heads. Again, you know, if you look through my rituals, you know, they need a head for a certain thing, you know, like they got guillotines and things like that. So, but that's another story. I'm going off track here. So what they do, they then replace the body, put the knife in the body, in the corpse, throw the blood on, and obviously spill into the dude. But when they pull that blindfold off that dude, yeah, again, they're watching for a reaction all the time, yeah. They already know he's willing to kill for the lodge because he stabbed the corpse already, what he believes is someone laying there, because he's felt warm blood, he's felt a nipple, do you see what I mean? He's felt a heartbeat of the sheep. Do you know what I mean? So when he stabbed that person that he thought was on the altar, because this geezer's saying, please don't kill me, I beg you. You know what I mean? That geezer thinks he's killed someone. So they already know he's willing to kill someone for the lodge. Do you see what I mean? But the reaction is, can he live with it? Do you know what I mean? So they're waiting to see if he pooks up, how he reacts in the next couple of days. But he goes through the right door. They know he's willing to kill for the lodge. Do you see what I mean? You know, and he's got that potential kudos, what the person on the left ain't got. The person on the left who went through the left door is going to be a ring of protection, but this guy, fuck, yeah, he's serious. We can get him into satanic ritual abuse and he'll be working for us. But anyway, when they whip that hoodwink off his head, you know what I mean, you see a corpse laying there. Remember, he's more than likely never seen a dead body before in his life. Do you know what I mean? So he's just seeing a child or a man laying on that fucking altar, and he's just killed him. That's as far as he thinks. He's killed that person. Do you know what I mean? So he might pook up, but he might not have no reaction to it. You know, that's what they're hoping. And then that means he can be sent anywhere to kill someone. Do you see what I mean? But that's, you know, that's what they give you. They give you life, you know, they give you life experiences. Do you know what I mean? Like they have a bitter and a sweet cup. You know, one side of the cup, you'll drink sweet liquid. The other side of the cup, you'll drink bitter liquid. Do you know what I mean? They do things like mouse traps, yeah? They go, trust me, brother, put your hand in the mouse trap. You know what I mean? And it'll slap down, you know, like on a carrot or whatever, and they'll reload it, but they'll swap it in for another one that doesn't slap. But it's to show that you can trust them, do you see what I mean? And they're building up trust all the while with these empathy games and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you've got to be a bit higher up to go into this type of ritual. Obviously, you aren't going to be an entered apprentice and go into straight away a death ritual. Do you know what I mean? But they do other ones where they, like, one person's got a bullet, yeah, and he's made to think he's got the killer bullet, even though there might be 3 or 4 with a gun as well. Yeah, they'll all misfire, but he'll fire, and that'll kill the person who's in the light, you know, who stood up to be shot. Do you see what I mean? And he thinks he's killed that person again. Do you see what I mean? They do all sorts of things like that, but that's another story. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's my YouTube. So go have a look. There's interesting things on there, what you can learn. Hopefully you'll like. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of other things. Who went on about NASA? I can't remember now where that would be, but that's on here somewhere. But yeah, you've got Masonic Shush Up, Masonic Army. You want to look at Masonic Army, and you want to look at the Masonic Police, yeah? Where's that? So if you go to my actual videos here, yeah, and then scroll down a little bit, you know, I've got my Masonic Doctors, you know what I mean? Masonic Gangster Truth and Meeting, Scottish Rite Books, where is it? Oh, it is. I'm the first person, by the way, yeah, of anyone, yeah, and you try and find anyone, I'm the first person to do a Masonic apron blood spatter test to see if they were ritually killing people. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was the first person to do that. But I needed to upgrade, really, and use chemicals rather than an ultraviolet light. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, watch my Masonic symbolism, yeah, videos, right? There's 7 parts to that, yeah? And that'll show you who runs your police force. Do you know what I mean? No, there's 8 parts. Yeah. So yeah, definitely get into that. I'll show you, you know, like the 232 and all the interesting stuff. What makes the police symbolism up, which you can see there. Look, see, look, that's the police symbol. Oh, I just freaking see that's the police there. Look, the police station. That's the police station there, and there's the Masonic 232 look on each side. And that leaves 3 for 33 degree, and that makes the square and compass, look, you see? And that's what that is. But I'd learn you that. You know, like I said, the police are Freemasonry. They got the symbolism right on the side of the police stations, do you know what I mean? And here again, look, I show you, you know, but you see, and then in the end, it makes the I can't remember what it is. Let me move this to the side a minute. Oh. Take there, my profane friends. Lucky I've got this board. I knew I was going to do a bit of drawing. I'll have a bit of drawing. I'm not going to go right into it. But the police station, yeah, what I basically teach you is this, right? That's the police station, right? Wait a minute. How am I doing this? I forgot now. That's 4, 5, 4, yeah. So I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Yeah. Oh, I love it, baby. I'm so profane. But that's the police station, yeah? All right? So on this side, you've got 3. I'm not going to do it fully, and I ain't going to go into it because it's all in my videos anyway. And you've got 3 this side for 33 degree, and that leaves the 232, yeah? The 232 is the Masonic cube, all right? Top of the box. People who watch my videos will know what I'm doing anyway. Left side of the box. Right side of the box, yeah. That's what that is. The Masonic perfect ashlar, all smooth, yeah. We're rough ashlars, the hated profane, yeah. So that's 33 degrees. So again, if I just do the 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, which is that police station again, yeah. What that actually is, and if you put it together, you got 232 there, look, which is 1. 223 there, look, 232, which is 2. And then you got the 1 in the middle, 232, yeah. So that's 3 times 232, yeah. And 232 is this, 2, 3, 2. Apart from being the Masonic cube, okay, it's actually this. From down to here, go up to there, is actually this. But I explain it in the video, see? And what it is the 3 steps in Masonry: entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, yeah? Then you've got the 5 steps in Masonry, which brings you up to the York Rite. And then you've got the 7 steps in Masonry, the subtotal. Look it up. You can just do the 3, 5, 7 steps in Masonry on Google, and that'll show you what the steps are. You know, it's like for sound, hearing, taste, do you know what I mean? All that good things what Freemasons. But because of 7, the subtotal, that puts G in here. Because it's the 7th letter of the alphabet, which is basically then this. That's what that is with the G in, you see? And that's what that is. That's what the 232 is. But also it's 6 points, look, yeah? Which is the 6 points. Yeah, 6 points. You join them up, you ended up. So if I do it here, look, 1, 2, 3. Because it's a compass move, look. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 point, 6 points, yeah? So 6 points, right, makes square and compass, right? So a square and compass, yeah, Masonic Freemasonry, which is 232, which is on the police station here, and we can do 232 3 times. So it's 3 times 6 points. So if this x equals 6, yeah, and it equals it 6 times, it's 666 for Lucifer. But that's just a simple explanation just for you, my profane friends. But watch my video and I explain it a lot more and a lot deeper. Oh, and just before I finish, just in case you're new and don't know what I'm on about, let me just 2 seconds. Wait there. Where's that bloody? 2 seconds, my profane friends. Right, let me just move that away. Right, all I've done is left that there. I've left the Masonic cube, which you know is 232, right? The Masonic 232, 3 steps of masonry, 5 steps, 7 subtotal. Put the G in the middle, right? But watch when I do this. Look. Okay. Again, I explain it in the thing. So if I take the centre away, right? Take the centre away, like that. I explain it better in the videos anyway. This is just a rough, you know what I mean? So what we've got 6 sides, yeah? Right? 6 sides. Oh, let me do it better, because if not, you ain't gonna bloody, I'll be moaning at myself for not doing it right. Right. I won't put the one in the middle. Alright. So I'll put the G in the middle, because that's the 7th step, yeah? G for the go to, right? We've got 7 sides, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, sorry. 6 sides, right? You get 6 pyramids, right? Sorry if the pyramids are looking rough. Oh, baby. That is going to look rough, this is. You ain't even going to be able to see it, I don't think. Oh, yes, you can. So, are you getting that now? So if I go like this to it, let me just tidy it up a little bit. This should be straight across here, right? And that should be down here like that, right? Sorry it's rough. Like I say, go watch my videos. There's a lot better in there, babies. Now you get it? You know what it is, don't you? It's the star of whatever, and I'm not going to say it, but also the Dewey, you know what I mean? And that's what it's about, you know what I mean? The G. See, and it's 30. So you've got 6 sides, 6 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 pyramids. 6, 6, 6 for Lucifer. You see what I mean? And that's what that is as well, you know. But I explain it all, you know, and you can see that on your city halls, your town halls, you can see it on your police stations, and you can see it on your churches. Do you know what I mean? But again, you need to watch my videos to, you know, that's all to do with 666 and Lucifer and this star. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and I explain that, you know, again, you know, that's Masonic code, what they don't want you knowing about, so keep quiet. Shh. You know what I mean? And that's what that is, do you know what I mean? And that's what 232 is, the Masonic cube, and what the 6 points are, do you know what I mean? And when you see it 3 times, it's 666. And that's what I do, you know, obviously. Look at the sticky on my, you know, I do a little bit on there, I think, and there is some out throughout, you know, but, you know, Freemasonry, once you learn the symbolism of it all, you then start, the trouble is it start waking you up, and then you start seeing it in everything. And I mean everything. You see it in your carpet, you see it in your wallpaper, you see it in your bedspreads. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking everywhere. You see it on your food products. It's just crazy stuff. Right, let me see if I can do a bit more. Wait there, if I can see, what is the 8-pointed star, bruv? That's the, Star of David. Are you mad? Yep, mad about Freemasonry, my profane fan. Freemasonry, that's us. You're a gem. I know I am. You haven't got to tell me I'm a big head at it. Nah, don't 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 16 something. Yeah, you're right, but again, I don't know. You're right there, J-Men, so you are. The growth in consciousness, the time it takes to get a new body, 777. Again, 7s are important. I'm really impressed. What is it? Knowledge is power. You are the power, if you've done the maths. It's your goal in taking it. My goal is to wise up every profane person that's without the Masonic temple. How much we know. You seem surprised how much we know. I won't be surprised. Put the crest on the moon. Done the maths to master me, mate. I'm pretty sure I'd know. Are you getting this info? What do you mean? I'm getting it from the Freemasons. That's where it is. What's the Watchers? The Watchers are the Freemasons. Why do they use babies now? They've always used babies. They've never stopped using babies, ever. You know what I mean? Again, I could show you... wait there. There's my... I've lost my bloody phone now. Well, the other one, what I had. Oh, here it is. I'll show you a video that you watch, or you should watch. If it's on this phone, I hope it is. Because if not, we've got troubles, because it's on this phone and I won't be able to show you. What's it called? Wait there. There you go. Go look at... I don't know if you're still watching CW. Go watch History of People Not Talked About, yeah? I'll show you guys a little bit, yeah?
In my view, this is one of the most important documentaries ever made.
And it is.
If you truly want to understand why Jews were kicked out of over 100 nations throughout history, then this should clear that up for you. This is what they worked so hard to conceal. This documentary has been on YouTube many times over the years and would always be taken down. I remember seeing it for the first time back in 2010, way before the great YouTube purge and censorship of 2019. I mean, they have worked tirelessly to ensure this information doesn't reach critical mass, and for obvious reasons. I will warn you that the subject matter is extremely disturbing, but 100% historically accurate. These ritual murders are the primary reason that Europeans and the Christian church were at war with Jews going back to the time of Christ. The Jewish Talmud is essentially the Babylonian religion of the Pharisees that Jesus Christ spoke out against. The anti-white agenda is truly an anti-Christ agenda, because historically the white man and Christian church have been the only defense against this death cult. It has always been the church who opposed Freemasonry, Kabbalism, and Babylonian Talmudism. They can't have their Jew world order with their Antichrist world leader so long as there are informed, committed men to remind them of their place. Adolf Hitler and many of his associates knew this history because of the many quotes we now have of them making references to Martin Luther and what he knew and wrote about Jews in his time, after reading what was actually in the Talmud. This documentary reveals that our European ancestors had to deal with and still goes on today. Conspiracy TV...
Right, let me just stop there. Now you, Mr. S, Chad Uprising, tell your doctor this kind of theory and let them give them help you need. Now, that's an old Masonic script that I've got in my forum about you Freemasons. That's a classic, yeah? But again, I've got an answer for every Freemason, whatever they say, yeah? So if I just put in here like medical, right? And then we go medicine Freemasons, right? Yeah. This is why I don't use the doctors. Look, the grapevines of medicines are filled with tales of Freemasonry influence. Most cannot be proven. Rumours include methods of obtaining senior positions, which they do. Maintaining the establishment's interest, using mental illness as a way to stigmatise those who rock the status quo, people like me, corruption in medicine and influencing outcomes of inquiries or complaints, yeah, like when you kill someone and they put a death certificate on it as an accident. One of the hottest rumours is the alleged influence of Freemasonry in the Bristol inquiry. It is important to understand that none of this evidence-based. They are a summary of discussion and take place throughout the medical profession. Rumours infiltrate through the medical profession through doctors' messes and behind closed doors for perceived victims of Freemasonry that appear to be an impression that they are left fighting unknown shadows, which you are. You're left unknown shadows because they don't come out wearing their aprons. Those who outlay those regarding Freemasonry are generally regarded as paranoid conspiracy theorists. Do you know what I mean? And that's because Freemasonry have the dominant force on every narrative of what people need or want to say. Do you see what I mean? That may be convenient for Freemasonry, which it is, but in reality, the history is peppered with secret societies, the use of influence and the need to achieve maximum power and control, which they do through the courts, the police and everything else. This is accompanied by unaccountability, because they are accountable for nothing, because they never got their fucking aprons on. The victims' tales have never been tested, investigated or analysed. Well, no, because the government, which is Freemasonry, the police, which is Freemasonry, ain't going to investigate itself, is it? You know what I mean? That would be suicide. And even if they did, the inquiry or the committee would come from these people and nothing would be done anyway. Of course, there'd be an inquiry and influence of into the legal system, but to the health profession, no. But, you know, again, you can read this all on my forum. There ain't nothing the Freemason can say to me, and I ain't investigated it. Do you know what I mean? I forgot what I was doing then. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Let me just show you a little bit more of this. And this is why this here...
Network, I want to give that man and his channel credit and a shout out because that's where I found it again. Within a longer video, when I realized what was in here, I immediately downloaded it, edited out the documentary, and then uploaded it here. Please share this. Download it to have a backup copy. Make sure every brother and sister knows this information because it is the most important aspect to historically understand the Jewish question. They hate this documentary more than Mayan comps. I can assure.
Yeah, of course it's recognition, and the Freemasons know it's something that is recognition, like the shush what I did, which obviously you must miss or whatever, but it's like the shush, the recognition of the shush. Shh, you will be quiet, you know what I mean? It's, everything's recognisable, yeah, to people without even realising it, you know. And if you can see that all day long in my videos where I point out the square and compass, the 232, everything, you know what I mean? Because it's recognisable and it's repetition, and Freemasonry knows repetition brainwashes you in a subconscious way, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what they do, and they control it. They control the narrative, you know, of what we see, what we should do, and how we should behave. If you are not doing that, then just like you know, they turn you people against you because you're not part of the crowd. They don't want you pulling other people away. You know, you're the virus. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a liar. You're this. You're that. And so long as no one else has listened to you, they're happy with that. But when people start following you and, you know, you're taking people away from their sheep, you know, the herd, the sheep away from where they want them to go, you're this, you're that, and fucking whatever else they deem fit to name you. Right, a bit more.
Assure you of that. Okay, so without further delay, let's proceed. Let's proceed now with the documentary. Mad Dr. S here, signing out. Spread the truth and hail victory, comrades.
What? Oh, I've got to start it again. Why is it Freemasons, when they come on, you're always mad, or you need medical attention, or you need drugs, or you're crazy? Do you see what I mean? And that's what Freemasons do, yeah? They try and label you as mad. They try and label... Because they know one thing. They know I'm fucking right. And they know they're disgusting criminals. Do you know what I mean? And I don't care. You know, in the end, what are they going to do? Kill me? That's already been discussed. Yeah, I've got that on tape. Are they going to put me in jail? That's been discussed as well. Do you know what I mean? So there'd be a big conflict of interest when I'm standing in court playing fucking tape recordings of people talking about murdering me. Do you know what I mean? And trying to put me away for 40 months so they can stitch me up while they're in the jail, because that's what they run. Do you know what I mean? With their drug trade. Do you see what I mean? Fuck you, Freemasons. Anyway, let's carry on. That's a good question. How did they get rid of him? Like everything else. How did they get rid of Julius Caesar? How did they get rid of
There's a dark matter still in the
Joan
world
of Arc?
today.
You know what I mean?
It is something that is perhaps older
How did they
than
get rid of their
language
more
itself.
families in
Human
Russia?
ritual sacrifice. And it has been something for which Jewish extremists have often been accused of throughout time. Understandably, since it's not an everyday topic, many people are highly skeptical of this bizarre accusation that has burdened the Jewish people for at least 2,000 years. After all, why would fanatical Jews in the past, and perhaps even to this very day, commit human sacrifice? Many people do not like to even think about the topic, believing it to be just pure, unadulterated, anti-Jewish propaganda. And likewise, the Jews themselves are quick to say that such claims are lies, which have been handed down through the centuries. However, there are two sides to this issue.
You know what? And the thing is, yeah, now you start saying this to, like, you know, a Jay or whatever, he's going to deny it. Do you know what I mean? Of course he is. That's like you say to any criminal, you just robbed that bank. He's going to go, no, I didn't. You go, you know, even people that are being sprung on, you know, that are paedophiles, yeah, are meeting children on the street. They go, no, I don't know what you're on about. Everyone's in denial. Do you know what I mean? Because no one fucking who's dishonest is going to tell you the truth. Do you know what I mean? They're going to lie to you. And that's exactly what Freemasons do. Deniability, deniability, deniability. And that's all they come out with. Deny, 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 deny. You know what I mean? That don't go on in my lodge. That don't go on in my lodge. That doesn't happen in my bollocks. Do you know what I mean? It's a load of shite. You're all corrupt. Anyway, this is what you want to watch, you know, and I can keep going on, and that give you the history of the, actually getting caught.
And the husbands were exposed.
Oh, I should have left that bit, really. That would have been a bit of interest, but it don't matter. You can go watch it yourself.
She bled freely, not only from the wound in her head, but from other parts of.
And, you know, you can watch it.
Bravely stepped forward and admitted that this terrible deed had occurred, as noted in the March 1990 issue of Cult Watch response. Recently, I had enough courage to share some of my story. I revealed that I am a Jewish survivor of a multi-generational family who practiced human sacrifice and cannibalism.
See what I mean? And it's all to do with families. Do you see what I mean? And everything. It doesn't matter what town or city you are. There's families there that are generational, that go back decades with a big history. And it's lords, dukes and earls. Do you know what I mean? You can see it all in my videos anyway. So you don't need to look where the White House. You don't need to look at Hollywood. Look within your own towns and cities, because you've got your Epsteins there. You've got your Jimmy Saviles. Do you know what I mean? And they're all living within your communities. Do you know what I mean? And most of them are Freemasons, well-established Masonic lodges that have been in your town for hundreds of years, with families running that lodge over and over and over again, including the police, including the, the town halls and everything else. Do you know what I mean? But you ask them in front of a Freemason over it, they go, no, what a load of shit, we control nothing. Do you know what I mean? But you go check who's your police officer, who your chief inspector is. He's a policeman. Do you know what I mean? You know, crazy. Who your MP is. They're groomed into them positions to keep the power for Freemasonry specifically. But yeah, go look at that history of people not talked about. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've got a lot, there's so much I could show, but I can't, I can only, do you know what I mean? I can't, everything I know, I can't inject into people's heads. Do you know what I mean? I rely on, I've got 35 people in the room, right? Now I'm hoping that 34 people, obviously you've got this Freemason here having a chat and another one, they're going to be in denial. And I expect that, and I don't care, whether they're Freemason high ranking or whatever, I don't care. The point of the matter is that I'm relying on the people that are not Freemasons, that are profane, are going to understand what I'm saying, or say, yeah, there's a validity. Let me research this myself. Let me look at it, of what he's saying, whether it's fact or whether he's talking shit. Because don't believe me, I could be lying. Do you know what I mean? And I say this to everyone. I could be lying. Do your own research, yeah? But you've got the information now, my forum, my videos. Do you know what I mean? You only got to look and research yourself whether I'm talking the truth or if I have validity. Just because someone's going, oh, you need a doctor and you're crazy and you're talking shit on a message doesn't make it true, does it? Do you know what I mean? Regardless of how crazy I sound, does it make it a fact or true? No. What makes it true is what you go do for yourself and research yourself, whether it's true or whether it's a fact. Do you know what I mean? Not what you've got to be careful who's telling you information. I could be lying to all of you. Do you know what I mean? And that's for you to for you to think to yourself, does he have valid information? Is he talking shit? Do you know what I mean? And the people who are saying he is talking shit or need a medical assistance or anything like that, Do they have a validity? Who are they? Do you know what I mean? What are they? You know, what in your life does that person have? You know, they might sit there going, I'm a Freemason, it don't go on in my lodge. But anyone who's corrupt and criminal is going to say that anyway, ain't they? Do you see what I mean? They ain't going to tell you the truth. They're trying to steer you back into the sheep crowd, so you don't. Do you know what I mean? So you keep on that path. Do you know what I mean? They want you on that path of being a sheep. Do you know what I mean? Remember, Freemasons are the Judas goats. Do you know what I mean? So you'd feel a bit silly after reading it, but you really can. Wait there. What is this vid? They doing that to me now. What is this vid? I ain't got a clue, mate. Mate, just there. Hebrew and read the books. It's not like the truth is hidden. No, it ain't true. The truth ain't hidden. And that includes the corruption that goes within every town and cities. Do you know what I mean? You know, again, J Men's, you call them the Zionists and the Khazars. Yeah, that's right, you know. But they love all these different names because then you're arguing over who's responsible. Do you know what I mean? But what it boils down to is it's good people and it's bad people. Do you know what I mean? And sadly, the bad people are all in charge. Do you know what I mean? And they're called Freemasons. That's right. They are low-level stooges. Do you know what I mean? That don't understand the plan. And they don't, mate. You know, like I said, when you see a Freemason go, that don't go on in my lodge, he's telling the truth. It don't go on in his lodge. Do you know what I mean? Nothing, because he's gone through the left door, yeah? And he's just been a ring of perfection. But his validation of going, that don't go on in my lodge, when you got the corrupt ones that stand beside him saying it don't go on in my lodge, do you see what I mean? It validates, you know, and he thinks, oh, it doesn't go on in their lodge neither. Do you know what I mean? So it makes him stand stronger beside his brother that he thinks ain't doing none of that. Do you see what I mean? And remember, people don't know what goes on in one chapter or the next chapter or the next lodge anyway. None of them do. So for them to say, I know it don't go on in that lodge or that lodge, they can't. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't fucking know. Do you know what I mean? Because you're only getting into certain lodges if you pass tests and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, that's all on face recognition and all that anyway. So if you've got 20 people in a chapter that are all paedophiles, yeah, and then you've got a face sit there that they don't recognise, they ain't going to talk about paedophilia or murder or drug dealing because you've got a foreign entity there that don't discuss that sort of thing. Do you see what I mean? And they're just going to go through the normal rituals. But if they've got the 20 faces that are in the lodge that they know are paedophiles, yeah, and they know that the tiler on the door is protecting the lodge, and then you've got the little minions all outside protecting the lodge as well, that so no eavesdropper or Cowans is going to hear the conversation, then they're quite happily talk about it all day long because they know no one's going to be listening in on it, no one's going to be recording anything or spying on them. Do you know what I mean? Because they control the police and everything else, and they, you know, and they direct who's looking and who's investigating. Do you see what I mean? So, and that's where that comes, you know, that's where it falls apart, you know. All right, wait there. Of course we are. We are eating human waste all over the place. Do you know what I mean? I mean, a few years back, if you look into Findus, yeah, they were selling horse meat, yeah, and putting horse meat in the Findus, and you know, and that people were hearing a gunshot, and the horses, they were running like horses all over the bloody place. No, but there was true, yeah, that's true. They were putting horse meat in the Findus, and like they were steroid based horses, you know, for the knackers yard. Do you know what I mean? And people were like growing muscles and things like that were eating Finders. You know, you can research it. They were getting away with it for years and decades. Do you know what I mean? You know, they do it all the time. Anyway, we're probably, yeah, right, yeah. But brother, I'm being genuine. I don't think you're intentionally misinformed, but you are wrong. No, I'm not wrong. You're forgetting I've lived with the experience of Freemasonry targeting me and making me a vomit for 30, 35, 40 years, yeah, and I'm not wrong. I know what goes on around here. I've lived here and I've lived Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? I know exactly what they are. I know who they are. And I've fucking gained so much evidence against the lodges around here. You wouldn't believe it. So you're talking shit, mate. You know what I mean? I know what they are and there's no getting away with it. He wouldn't let you interview him. Showing what? The Masonic book. Again, I'm showing how much people think, yeah, they got power and all this bollocks, but the people in power are the Freemasons. They're a government unto themselves. Do you know what I mean? And all of this, what's being written in this book here, do people think they're just going to walk up, yeah, and go and shift these Freemasons out of power? No, Freemasons are going to fight. They're going to come out of their lodges, rise up in their guns, and anyone who's a truther like me or standing against them, they're going to shoot and kill, just like Hitler did in the war and every other fucking war where they've got people that are going against them. Do you know what I mean? You know, and anyone who they put up as a hero, like Churchill or Napoleon and all the rest of it, once your use is done, a bit like Joan of Arc, they put you at the stake, do you know what I mean? And sacrifice you. A bit like JFK, you know, when he was going to expose him, they killed him. What happened? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because they get away with it because they got all the power. All they did was kill JFK, put a load of news things, oh, it's a conspiracy, it was the Cubans, it was this, it was that, you know, give loads of people stuff to argue about and who was at fault, who in, do you know what I mean? When the bottom line is, JFK was surrounded all by Freemasons, do you know what I mean? And it was all Masonic, like Joan of Arc, who got burned at the stake. You know, you just got to look at the history of it. You run everything. The more weight, more power we get. That's right, and that is a fact. And this is what I do. I try and wake one profane person up at a time, yeah. And I hope that profane person. It's like the word of God. Do you know what I mean? He preached his word, and it spread around the world, and that's what I'm hoping, or across the world. I'm hoping that's what I'm doing, you know. And I need people like you who watch this to go out and spread my videos. Say, look at this dude, he's got a fucking point here. The Freemasons are running our town. Do you know what I mean? They are keeping the chaos going, and we need to get them out of power. Do you know what I mean? What is a secret handshake? There's so many secret handshakes, and there's like, you know, there's passwords as well, and there's not just passwords and a handshake. You've got to know the step for it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, say the Entered Apprentice, there's one step, you know, one grip and one password. Do you see what I mean? But you've got to know them, and then there's 2 steps for the Sojourner, yeah. And then there's 3 for a Master Mason. And as you go up, there's more steps. Do you know what I mean? That's why I say there's 3 steps, 5 steps, 7 steps. Do you know what I mean? Then there's 9 steps. Do you know what I mean? There's 13 steps. Do you know what I mean? All the way up through the different degrees of Freemasonry. You know what I mean? And you've got to know the steps, you've got to know the pass, and you've got to know the handshake. Remember, an Entered Apprentice can be an Entered Apprentice for 5 years, learning the witchcraft, you know, and all the different things. You know, remember, they're not just learning the steps and the passwords and all the rituals. They're learning alchemy, how to smell, how to taste, how to see, how to, you know, how to watch. Do you see what I mean? They're learning all that. Sound, hear, taste, you know what I mean? They learn all of that. It's a bit like Hogwarts, you know. What's his name? The Hocus Pocus kid. What's his name? You know, that's a bit like him. Do you know what I mean? You know, they learn different things within the lodge or within the different chapters. Yeah, so so it isn't as easy as that. Do you know what I mean? Wait, more power we get. You know so much. What's the secret handshake? It's been a pleasure. I'll be back on when you're on next. I don't know when I'm on next. I just, you know, JFK was a Freemason. Yes, he was. Anyone who has power in the White House, in number 10, or any other place on this planet, yeah, who has a position of power is a Freemason, yeah? You know what I mean? Or indoctrinated into, obviously, the Cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, the Demole. Most presidents are Demole anyway, do you know what I mean? Most of them are Demole, you know. And again, I could go, you know, show you pictures on my forum and that. Like I said, just go to my forum. I'll show you again. and go to, like I said, the best to to understand what goes on in this world, is to go to my forum, Zazon Boney Baby. But you can find me in my videos. I always leave a link anyway. And then go to Freemasonry within the UK or Freemasonry worldwide. And it shows you what the Freemasons are up to. This is Freemasonry worldwide. Look, Satanic Ritual Abuse, Australian Freemasons by Karen Brewer. Freemasonry is the common denominator in all countries, You got the Italy government and Freemasonry. Look up the P2 Lodge, They're all connected through, again, into the UK, right? France, Masonic corruption. Russia's criminal Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And it goes on. Romanian, Ukraine. See, there ain't nowhere, where there ain't Freemasons around the world, working their corruption and their fucking snidey little shit. Do you know what I mean? But, mad. Freemasonry in the UK. Let's see if I can press that. I've got fat fingers on this bloody thing. There was something I was going to show you there, guys, but I forgot now, but it don't matter. Number 1, Freemasonry within the UK. Look, who's the most socially dominant force in every town and city? Well worth watching, that is. But just go by the numbers. Number 1, number 2. Do you know what I mean? That shows you who the judges are. Look, the influence of the judges. They're all Freemasons. Masonic councillors, shush up. Freemason influence in the police. British Masonic mafia, which are the prime ministers. You know what I mean? And it goes on, but just go by the numbers, Look, Boris Johnson and the Freemasons that protected him, which he was. They protect every, MP, like Churchill and all of them, Just go, you go back in time. Don't matter what time it is. They're all surrounded by Freemasons because they're the ones that do it all, And like I said, there's no sides in Freemasonry, you know what I mean? America make out they're at war with China or Russia or whatever, but they're all friends. They're all Freemasons, do you know what I mean? Working as one. And that's just to keep us, the profane, fighting amongst ourselves and distracted so they can get another generation of being rich, not having to work or do fuck all because we do it all for them. You see what I mean? And they're parasites. That's all it is. And that is what the conspiracy is, really. Look, see what I mean? Freemason. 11 officers investigating the Dalian Morgan's murder, right? Who was killed by Freemasons. The investigators were members of a Masonic organisation. How's that justice for that person? That isn't, is it? Do you see what I mean? Look, Daniel Morgan's inquiry draft report condemns Masons in police. You see what I mean? Because that's what it is. Look, Freemason PM Tony Blair covering up paedophile scandals. Do you see what I mean? And that's all they do. They shush up everything. Shh, shh, shh. Do you see what I mean? That's what it's all about, my friends. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure I've got the Freemason and the Illuminati. Watch this, look. Watch this. Let's see if I can find it. Wait there. Some of these are real good posts. You know what I mean? Like this, the former Sun Valley, she tells you everything, but you've got to get right into it. You know what I mean? Here's the president ranks. Yeah, look at this. Look, this is what I was on about earlier. Okay, now this is a Knights Templar booklet. All right, honours paid by Knights Templars. Right, all right. It's 2 pictures. Okay, all right. There's 1. There's 2. I'll show you this picture first. All right. Now look at this. Right. Now here's your vice president, members of the cabinet. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting about I'm on the phone here. All right. The vice president, members of his cabinet, right, and governors within their states, right? Now they get like horns blown or whatever, and like honours paid, and they get a certain amount of money, all tax free for being fucking, vice presidents and presidents. But look who's below them, look. Grand Master of Masons and Grand High Priests, Now, I've gone into the high priests of Freemasonry, and they carry wands and all that. It's a bit like Hogwarts, like I said, They got wands and that. That's why the Queen got a wand brook over her coffin. That's another story. And she was a druid. Again, if you go to my church, I'll show you the druids within my church. You know what I mean? But we're going to this anyway. So anyway, then you've got the grand officers commanding a brigade, because like I said, it's an army, is entitled to the salute, because it's an officers. The officers, look, the distinguished officials, national colours, and blah, 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 right? And no honours are paid for, like, entered apprentices and that. But look, so the vice president and the members of the cabinet in their states, right, yeah, and the governors within their states, right, are all controlling the Grand Master of Masons. So all the Grand Master of Masons, yeah, in every town and city, then delegate what, like the Master Masons and all that, in their lodges to keep control of the towns and the cities, yeah? So these are like your MP. In this country, that would be the it would be, so the president would be the prime minister. So that'd be the deputy prime minister over here, would be the governors and all that sort of bollocks, yeah. But now look at the other page, yeah. I hope you understand. You'll have to read the post yourself, you know, to maybe understand it more, because I'm, like I said, I'm not a very good orator. Is it an orator? You know, or talker, like, you know what I mean? But I do explain it in the, you know, in my videos. Oh, bloody hell. See what I mean? Look what I just did. That was a Freemason's fault. Right, wait there. Blame it on the Freemasons. They're more now responsible for it anyway. But like I said, I go through the post anyway. Now, this is the page before it, okay? Now, what I'd like you to see, look, honours paid by Templars, right? Yeah? The Order of the Templars, I'll have to just read it like this, and just because I can't read it through the phone, right? Is powerful in number, right? Wealth and position, and the honours paid to its officers and representatives should therefore be in keeping with the dignity of the order. The following named officers will be received with standards draping, right? All officers, remember the standards, yeah, is like when you go to war and you got your standard, do you know what I mean? And there's different standards, like one will have a pig on it, one will have a sheep, one will have a duck, one will have a bloody, what's that bloody called? You know, like a bloody eagle or whatever. They're standards for families, yeah? You know, a bit like Game of Thrones, and people go, oh, come to my banner, come to my standard, yeah? That's what that is, okay? So anyway, where was I? The following officers will receive the standards drooping. All officers executing the salute swords. Look, oh, let's see if I can get that. Salute swords, yeah. Salute swords, because like I said, they're an army. The Sir Knights at present swords, and the band trumpets or field. I can't see what that says, sorry, because I'm reading it through this phone. That's better on a big screen. As indicated in each case, right? So at the top here, look, we've got the most eminent Grand Master, right? Hail to the Chief. The right eminent Deputy Grand Master. Other officers of the Grand Encampment, right, of the Knights Templar. Now, you've got an encampment in every town. Forget the Masonic Lodge, right? There's your Masonic lodges, and then there's a grand encampment of the Knights Templars within your town and city, yeah? So like I said, these armies are different grades, do you see what I mean? Don't forget, and you've got Demole, you've got Job's daughter, you've got, you know, all the women that are Freemasons as well within your town. They're auxiliaries, you know what I mean? They'll be the ones like making the bullets for the guns and things like that. But, and, you know, making sure the troops, you know, the Masonic troops get their food, you know what I mean? But, because this is an army and they're encamped in your town. So just because they're saying this, that and the other, don't look at it like they're nothing, because this is what it is. It's an army, yeah? And it's right within your town now. Anyway, carrying on, other officers of the Grand Encampment, yeah? The Right Eminent Grand Commander, right? And then you've got the Very Eminent Deputy Grand Commander, the Eminent Grand General, whatever that word is. You'll have to read it yourself. Like I said, I'm not a professional. But the most important bit, and we're getting to that, I'm so excited. Anyway, past and Captain General, the past Grand Commanders, when within their jurisdiction, trumpets sound, 2 flourishes, drums, beat 2 rallies, outside of their jurisdiction, 1 flourish and 1 ruffle, whatever that bloody mean, you know, and that gives you what they get, yeah, for each, you know, because they, you know, depending on their status within the army, yeah. Other grand officers of the Grand Commandery, eminent commanders, and anyway, all these people up here, right, yeah, all of these, and here's your president, look. The President of the United States is saluted as par 1284, yeah? So he just gets a salute. But look at all these people that control the President of the United States. All these past commanders, eminent commanders, very eminent deputy grand masters, the right eminent grand commanders, other officers, right eminent, do you know what I mean? All of these families, yeah, and their families, remember, all control this president here. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not going to done that wrong again. I know I did that wrong. I know I did it right. And like I said, so the president basically controls the vice president, and they all answer up to him. So all the Freemasons, yeah, answer up to the vice president. The vice president then answers up to the president, yeah, and then the president answers up to all these grand deputy grand masters of, you know, Knights Templars and all the rest of it, Demole, you know, obviously you got the Demole and all the rest of it, Skull and Bones, that'll be, you know, all of them top-notch people, do you know what I mean? But the only people I really deal with are these, do you know what I mean? These Master Masons that, you know, answer up, because they control us, the body, you know what I mean? They're the ones that control the towns and the cities, these Master Masons, for all these top up people up the top, do you know what I mean? But go read it yourself and you'll understand it a lot better, you know what I mean? But I hope that's, you know, cleared a few things up there. Let's see if I can answer some more. Help you stay safe online. Don't bother, mate. His mind is made and anything will be made. Nah, mate. Not me. My mind is on point, mate. I am safe online. What can anyone do? I'm online, look. You know what I mean? What they got to do? They can't do nothing. It's online. The only thing people can do is if they come round my house. Help you stay safe online. He was a Mason. Who was a Mason? I'm not a Mason. Very interested. Watch though. Why don't you ask someone to recommend you? You may get white balls. Yeah, bloody hell. I doubt that. So you've been a Freemason? No, I've never been a Freemason. I don't want to be a Freemason. Still haven't said what the secret handshake actually. I did answer you about the handshake. There's all different ones, yeah? Like, you know, you press the knuckles, you know, or there's different presses, right? It can be one press, it could be two presses, it can be three presses, you see? Yeah, and then it moves from each muscle, you know, from each grip. But again, there's a step to that. There's a password. So just because you know a Masonic grip, that doesn't mean nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely nothing. So when people want to know about a Masonic grip or whatever, it's a load of rubbish because you've still got to know the step. You've got to know the password. And that password is given out monthly. Like, say it's this book, they'll say, like, they'll give you a group of numbers, like, that'll say, like, 100, 12, 9, yeah? So it'll be page 100, down 12, and then across, you know what I mean? So that would then give you the password. Whatever that would be the password, do you know what I mean? So it's random, do you know what I mean? And if you don't know it, you ain't going to get anywhere anyway. Right, sent heart me, I don't know what that means, became the number 3 member of the team. I don't know what a team is. I don't know what a gifter badge is. I don't know any of that sort of stuff. No, it isn't. It's the Jews. Yeah, of course it is. We know it's the bloody SS, you know, the J's. But I keep away from that because, again, there's always the to and back forth. So I always say it's always good people or bad people. Bad people take the control, and sadly they're Freemasons, and they're doing the work for them anyway. There's others above Masons, though. Yeah, there is others above Masons, yeah. But the point is, what can you do about it? Nothing. Go on. If you think you can go to the White House and take them out, do something about it. You can't. But what you can do is organise your community, yeah, your town or your city, even your estate or the people that live around you, to start ousting out the bad. Right, who's controlling our town hall? Who's controlling our parish councils? Do you see what I mean? And you start ousting them out that way. Because if you control it, yeah, and you take over your parish councils and your town halls and your police, they can't then answer up to people like the Rothschilds and the Illuminati and everyone above. You're taking that away from them, but you wouldn't be allowed to do that anyway. Like I said, before they let anyone take a power any sort of power away from them, they're going to start killing you and murdering you, and they're already an army, like I said. Yeah, I went to a meeting of the Knights of Columbus. I walked in a church. Yeah, I've uploaded it on my what is it? Yeah, my YouTube. Wait there. Masonic infiltration of a church, I believe.
You what?
Oh no, that was the other church. Wait a minute.
Do you make them?
Wait there. Masonic decimated church. It's on here somewhere anyway, but truth me and TikTok. Right, wait a minute. Bear with me, babies. Masonic church court and note. Council Masonic debate with Mr. Bolly. No, I can't find it. But I walked in on a Knights of Columbus meeting. The leader of the Knights, yeah, was a priest, yeah. And they were just sitting in the room in the church. Do you know what I mean? I've done the symbolism for it. The video's actually up on YouTube somewhere, or it's if you search my Facebook, Stuart McIntosh, and just put in church, yeah, or Knights of Columbus, not Columbus, Columbus, COLUMPISS. That'll come straight up. Do you know what I mean? Knights of Columbus. You know what I mean? Actually, I might be able to search that up on here because I leave my Facebook open for anyone. Do you know what I mean? So let's see if I can get it up and then I'll show you what I mean. Oh no, I'll put Facebook. Oh, wait there. See if I can get it or not. You never know. Piss. Let's see. I've got the profiles. I can't see it. But saying that, is that frigging me anyway? Do you know what I mean? There seem to be so many people up on here. Let me just see what I can find. Nah, it's different. Yeah, there's someone else. You can't even find me in a bloody searchlight. You know what I mean? Typical. But yeah, I can't show you because I'm on this phone. Knights of Columbus. So yeah, just have a look. Who's fake? I love it. I plan on applying to join the Masons. Well, if you want to lose your soul, mate. But if you do, work for us, you know. We'll love it. It looked like there's a couple of Freemasons in here, but I've got no problem with Freemasons at all. I'm on about the establishment and what they did to me in my own town and city. What is this app called? I don't know, TikTok. I don't want to be a Freemason, even if I did, you know. They're gang stalking, drug dealing, paedophile fucking nonsense and rapists. Yeah, female Masons. Yeah, Rainbow Girls. Forget name of bloody soul. Job's Daughter, Rainbow Girls, and Eastern Star. The Queen was a Druid. God, see what I mean? This is just by like simple posts like that, yeah, where someone will step in and go, the Queen wasn't a Druid, yeah. That doesn't negate what I said, you know. And this is what I say about people doing the research themselves, yeah. You need to do the research yourself. Queen, Druid, watch. She was indoctrinated into it. Yeah, look, in the Daily Mail, look, Druids stripped Queen of her ancient honorary title, yeah? An honorary ovate of Bars of Wales and the national, they stripped her of her title, yeah, because of what she did. But again, like I said, she was a Druid, and here she is, look, back in the day when she was a Druid. Do you know what I mean? See? But just because someone says, oh, she wasn't a Druid, you know what I mean? Don't negate what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. She is a Druid. And she was a Druid. You know, it was there. Research it yourself. You know what I mean? There you go. Again, I say, don't believe what anyone says. Do you know what I mean? Do your own research. People need to be doing their own thing. Don't follow me. I could be lying to you. Do you know what I mean? No, I ain't been asleep. I'm bloody knackered. You appear to be on a mission. I am on a mission to wake up the profane that have no clue about what Freemasonry is. I will, baby. You know me, sugar puff. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. I mean, just look at all this data here. Yeah. Oh, I missed it there. That was a brilliant one. Did you see that? Oh, mate. Right there. So much. These books, right? They're so vast, right? Yeah. How do you expect, right? Yeah, for people to just like walk in and take them? You think they're gonna just come away and go, yeah, you can take over control of the town halls and the courts and everything we deem fit to control you with? They ain't gonna let you do that at all, ever. Not in a million years. Do you know what I mean? Grand Treasurer, Grand Masters, Grand Priors, do you know what I mean? Grand Lodger Confoy, Grand Lodger this, Grand Lodger that, all these Supremes, Supremes that, do you know what I mean? You think that you're just going to walk in and take all this away? Thousands of years of history, of families being part of this organisation. Do you know what I mean? You've got no chance. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing, you know. People think it's all simple. You know, people ain't even thinking about Freemasons or anything. Do you know what I mean? We're just a small minority. You know, again, look, this is. I've been through this enough. I don't know if it saves these or whether the live disappear or whatever. But look, you know, this is what see the tongue lickers right at the bottom, right, and obviously it only goes to the tiler here. But under the Grand Tiler, you've got all the other people, you know, like again, Entered Apprentice, Sojourners, Master Mason, Mark Master Mason, blah, 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 and they go up and up and up, yeah? But they're all licking these arses, you know, with these generals. These are the generals, field marshals and all of that, you know what I mean? And they're being, you know, bestowed with medals and, oh, you're a good person. Here's your sash, here's your brooch, do you know what I mean? Here's your gold this, here's your gold watch. Do you know what I mean? And this, you think they're going to get? Their egos are being stroked every day. Do you know what I mean? By people. You know, look at all this, and you think you're just going to let you walk on in and take all this away from him? No, they ain't. Right. How long have I been doing this? Just this video I just did tonight, but I've been doing this about 30 years, man. Every president of the unit. They are Freemason. Do your research, you know. This is, again, you see what I mean? You need to do the research, you know. Everyone who's a prime minister is friends with the American president, you know what I mean? They just don't fight amongst themselves no more, do you know what I mean? And this is the thing of it, do you know what I mean? They're all Freemasons. I think there was a young girl that connected all the Freemasons by family tree, do you know what I mean? Including Arnold Schwarzenegger, do you know what I mean? What was I going to search up there? I can't remember. Freemason. I mean, who do you want to go in? You know what I mean? You want. Look, they're all Freemasons. Look, see, Freemasons. You know what I mean? Look at it. They're all Freemasons, all of them. Even today's ones. Look, all Freemasons. Do the research on it. Do you know what I mean? Including Mr. George Washington and all the rest of them. Here they are. Look, see, all Freemasons, and the Freemasons tell you anyway. Look, do you know what I mean? It's in the Masonic Museum. You know, they tell you how many presidents were Freemasons. They tell you. Research it. I ain't got to tell you. Research it. That's what I'm saying. But that's all been done. You know, it's all been done for you on my forum, in my videos. You know what I mean? You suggested hatred towards Jewish people and towards Masons. No, I ain't got hatred for any of them. Just the bad people. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? There's good and bad through it. And like I said, there's people that are unaware of what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, the war is not about religion. It's not about countries. It's not about colour. It's not about race. It's not about creed or anything. It's about good people and bad people, yeah? And sadly, bad people are controlling it all, yeah? But they're controlling it all through Freemasonry. And you can go as Kabbalah and you can go as the Illuminati. Again, all of that is all done by them. Do you know what I mean? And that's the point of it. Do you know what I mean? They don't give two monkeys. Do you know what I mean? So long as you lot keep fighting about who's who and who's this, that's all they care about. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. You know what I mean? Wait there, I'm doing something, trying to find something up. Right, I forgot what I was trying to do now. Oh yeah, I know. It's okay, I've got it now. Haha, I'm always prepared, baby, always prepared. Right, so let me just do another page of this. Right, this is what they said, right? This is proofs of conspiracy, yeah? Look, the greatest strength in our order lies in its concealment. Let it never appear in any place in its own name, but always covered by another name, like the police, social services, do you know what I mean? Judges, do you know what I mean? Right? And another occupation. None is better than the three lower degrees of Freemasonry. The public is accustomed to it, expects little from it, and therefore takes little notice of it. Next to this, the form of a learned or literacy society is best suited to our purpose, and a Freemasonry not existed. This cover would Freemasonry not existed. This cover would have been employed, and it may be much more than a cover. It may be a powerful engine in our hands. By establishing reading societies and subscription libraries and taking these under our direction and supplying them through our labours, we may turn the public mind which way we will. And that's it, you know, they turn the public which way they will with the TV now, do you know what I mean? And their games, their Xboxes and all the other shit they do, and their drugs. Anyway, founder Illuminati, blah, 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 conspiracy nights. All Freemasons should be disbanded in the UK and America because our organisations have been infiltrated by the Illuminati and they have bad intentions for the America and the world. George Washington said that himself. Do you know what I mean? And he was a Freemason, I believe. But there you go. And let's go a bit more, see if there's any more. What did they do to you? Very good question. That's in my forum. Well, some of it, not all of it. Yeah, all the celebrities are related, yes. And they come from Hollywood, you know what I mean? Again, it all goes, again, it's all families, yeah, and orientation. And if you do the research of who's getting in, like I said, Beckham, you know, you do David Beckham, his kids are all doing the catwalks and all that, do you know what I mean? So who's going to be, when they have babies, who do you think is going to be working the catwalks? David Beckham's kids, you know what I mean? Their grandkids, you know what I mean? It's happening now. Clint Eastwood's, you know, I'm trying to think of other stars, you know, but all their children, you know, I've got it in books in there, actually. I was going to do a live on it, yeah, on the Inquirer. I'll have to show you. It's called nepotism. Look up my post of nepotism, yeah, on Facebook, yeah, and it'll show you how Freemasonry is nepotism, how they will, you ain't got to keep going to that big Hollywood shit and all that. It's happening within your towns and cities, yeah? And all they're doing is willing their shops down to each other, their pubs and their clubs and everything else, their taxi firms they own and all of that, do you know what I mean? They may change the name and everything, name Mr. Smith, because they just pass it on to different Masons, do you see what I mean? So it looks like they're, someone else is owning it or bought them out or looking poor, but no, it still just belongs to the lodge and the money's going into the lodge. Do you see what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Yeah, Nick, mate. And that's what it is, Nick. That they make people who are truthers perjured individuals. Yeah, they take us to their internal courts. Yeah, and they sentence us. Do you know what I mean? And they make us targeted individuals. You know what I mean? And yeah, perjured individuals, vomits, victims of Masonic ill treatment. The trouble is people don't realise they are all victims of Masonic ill treatment. Do you know what I mean? Because they rule us, they manipulate us within our communities. Do you know what I mean? But people don't realise it. Yeah, the darkening light, as well as a Master Mason. I don't see anything you're showing that holds water, though. Well, again, there's a guy on my Facebook that it don't matter how much evidence I put to him, it never holds water. It's always true. It's always false, and there's no proof. So, and that's the standard Freemason script you'll find through hundreds of thousands of posts on the internet. Right, let's have a look. Like Julian Assange, yeah, they put him away because he was posting the truth. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do. And again, you've only got to go, again, I know I keep referring to it, but it is a good source. There ain't nothing you won't find on there. That ain't about Freemasonry and whatever else, and that's my forum. You're talking about what they do. So again, go to my shush up post. What's been shushed up and whistleblowers and heroes. Look, oh, wait there. Yeah, that's all the list of. I've been at that one. I showed you earlier. We'll go to this one. Whistleblowers and heroes. Yeah, and here look. This is how they show you in a negative light. Yeah. Again, just go by the numbers, and there's the whistleblowers and what they do. And then, like I said, look, murdered a whistleblower, a Catholic priest who broke, they killed him, and that's what they do. Melanie Shaw, look her up, do you know what I mean? They all blew the whistle, but it's always the same thing, do you know what I mean? They fucking all been killed or character assassinated, do you know what I mean, by Freemasonry, do you know what I mean? And that's what it is, They make sure you get seen in a negative light, You're crazy, you're mad, you need a drink, you need this, fucking stupid geezer, fucking this, he's a nonce, he's a fucking this, he's a fucking that. Do you know what I mean? Anything to keep anything from you listening to that person, because that person's going to steer you, again, away from the sheep. Do you know what I mean? But again, propaganda to portray victims, whistleblowers, and those who do speak out in a negative light, and that's what they do. That's but you don't see no Freemasons lining up to down what's his fucking name, Ike, David Icke and all that, because he's part of the system. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up on any stage speaking at rallies. Do you know what I mean? All truther groups are all controlled by the narrative of Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? And that's all groups. And again, I'm telling you here, look, please think for yourselves, as it really starts and ends with the people, your life, who you participate in these crimes. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to be morally sound of mind, yeah, to one, not be a follower, two, to think for yourself and think, well, is this right or is this fucking wrong? Do you know what I mean? If not, you end up, again with the Hitler thing, like this. See, like this girl here, yeah? Victoria, look her up. Do you know what I mean? Really bad, But a society built on lies, you know what I mean, that don't allow the truth, and freedom of speech, you can't say fuck all. That's, where you're going to go. Do you know what I mean? This girl here, look. She was groomed, drugged, raped and murdered by a gang of 97 Pakistani Muslim paedophiles, but the police, too scared to say anything. She was 15 when she died, and the Manchester police and the council covered up her story. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do. They shush it up. You know what I mean? Anyone, same as like when there's paedophiles in Parliament or government officials on cocaine, they shut it up. Do you know what I mean? They don't tell you. You get nothing because you're too profane to handle the truth. You can't know the truth because you're too fucking stupid. And that's what they look at. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, you're sheep. You know what I mean? Look, see, whistleblowers. What can happen to you if you speak out, not keeping quiet and definitely not shushing, which is what I'm doing. And this is what they can do to you, you know. And like I said, they kill you. You know, these are all different people, by the way. Look what they've done to you. Look, Alison Taylor was head of Children's Home in North Wales, yeah. She blew the whistle, do you know what I mean? And then away, you know, everyone is either killed or fucking, you know, sacked for gross misconduct, you know, or convictions of abusive of staff. Do you see what I mean? The people who whistleblow and say these people are fucking wrong are the ones that go to jail. Do you know what I mean? Like Assange, you know? Mel Gibson, Sound of Freedom. Again, that Sound of Freedom, again, what is the point of that? Again, it's about the children, because it's always about, remember, it's always about the children, because the next generation of children has got to be compliant with the elite above. Do you see what I mean? So it's always about the children, yeah, and the next generation, you know. But again, that comes down to Masonic chipping. Look, where is that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Masonic chipping. Fat fingers. I knew I'd bloody miss it. You know, Masonic charity, yeah? Look at the Masonic charities. Each and every one of them, right, yeah, has ripped everyone off. Do you know what I mean? That's Freemason charities, you know what I mean? But anyway, we're going to the chipping. Now, if you go to the chipping, yeah, all you got, again, look, is this is where the Sound of Freedom coming to, because everyone now is going to be so scared and petrified. I know, yeah, we better go run, and you can see it. It's all Freemasons, all this Chipman malarkey. And that's all the Freemasons that are putting the Chipman, you know, is your kid safe? Do you know what I mean? You know, and this goes back, look, that's a Massachusetts Freemason tape, look. You know what I mean? It's about 15 minutes long, a propaganda video done by the Grand Lodge of Masons in Massachusetts on child identification program. You know what I mean? You know, that's an old VHS tape. So that should tell you how many years these people have been pushing the child identification program. Do you see what I mean? You know, there ain't nothing I ain't covered what Freemasons ain't involved in. You know, Oregon chip, and you know, there's a lot of the stuff. You know, because I'm a one man like army against a monolithic army. Do you know what I mean? I'm small and minute, but as you can see, look. Do you know what I mean? It's just fucking crazy, you know. But again, that helps them mark, you know, because they're taking a blood test. That tells them if, for instance, there's an elite person that needs a blood or an organ, that tells them where that organ and that blood group is, doesn't it? You know what I mean? We need someone's kidney. That needs to be this blood group. Oh, yeah, we've got this. All of a sudden, that kid goes missing or is kidnapped. But that isn't put down to Freemasonry. That's put down to a kidnapper. Do you see what I mean? But again, like everything, when they want to kill someone, it's put down to an accident, you know, and they got no claim that in us. It's not what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about, you see. Like for me, instance, I live in the UK. If I got ran over by a Chinaman or a Russian or someone from Africa, yeah, and I got run down, they go, oh, it's an accident. He didn't know how to drive. Do you know what I mean? That's what they'll say. It was an accident. Why would anyone from Africa or why would anyone from Japan want to kill me? Where the question really is this. Was that Japan, that person from Japan or Germany or wherever, was he part of a Masonic lodge working as a favour for the people in the UK in the Masonic lodge there? And did, you know, someone from the UK do the same favour in Japan or Germany or whatever? Because that's how they do it. They make it an accident all the time. And people that, you know, are killed by an accident, I'd have serious reservations, yeah, whether it was murder or not. Because, like I said, accidents do happen, but a lot of murders happen to be murder by accidents. Do you know what I mean? That Freemasons create, and they're masters at it. Do you know what I mean? Remember, they have committees doing this. You know what I mean? You're not talking about one person. You've got a whole committee of Freemasons, from police, ambulance services who pull up. You know, I mean, how many people we've seen get in an ambulance and then get to the hospital and they're dead on arrival? What's to say then people didn't kill that person, you know, in the ambulance because they're a truther and we need rid of him? Do you know what I mean? Whatever reason, you know, whether it's a past, because again, they do the past, what they call it, feuds, you know what I mean? Like back in the day, like in Scotland, if you walked off the battlefield, they're still arguing about it now, you know, because you walked off the battlefield, you MacLeods and you McDonalds, they won't speak to them, you know, and they're still battling about it today. And that's hundreds of years ago. Do you know what I mean? But if your family has done something and they curse you, do you know what I mean? In their Masonic lodge, in their fucking maternal courts, yeah? And they make you a perjured individual. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? Your family, and they may not get you this century, they may not get you this decade, yeah? Or in that year. But down the line, they will get you. Do you know what I mean? Because it's marked up in their books and you're a target, and it goes on and on and on like that. Do you know what I mean? And I could spread that, you know, further afield and go more into that. Do you know what I mean? But there ain't time for that, you know. But like I said, when they want to kill a truther or someone, it's always an accident. And like I said, if someone from Africa, like, you know, like a black guy, say, or a Chinaman runs an Englishman over, they go, oh, he's here on holiday. Who's going to question that? No one. Do you know what I mean? The geezer can't drive. You know, he's in the UK. What do you expect? No one questioned it. No one's going to ask the obvious question that I would ask would be, was he a Freemason? Do you know what I mean? Did he come over here on a particular trip to visit any lodges? You know, did he do a favour for the lodge? Because the local lodge here are pissed off with me and they want me killed or whatever. You know, one of the biggest things the Freemasons have always said to me, these Lewises, you know, the locals, why don't you move away? Why didn't you move away out of the town? Now, if I moved out of the town or moved away, yeah, which is what they wanted me to do, it would be easier to kill me. Because if I get killed somewhere, the only people who would know that I was dead would be my family, obviously, yeah. A few people go, oh, he died, did he? Boom, boom, and that would be it. But there would be no questions asked. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd moved away. But this is years ago, you know, they don't say it to me now. But, you know, it's easier to kill someone when you force them to live out of their town than it is, you know, to kill someone who's local. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone talks about it, you know. And when murders start, it's hard to cover them up, isn't it? You know what I mean? But people don't ask the right questions. When people die, whether it's an accident or they disappear, you've got to ask the question, have you, in any time in your life, has anyone in your family betrayed someone in the past? And that's the fucking truth, mate. You know what I mean? I've got it on recording, yeah? I'm in Hastings. I've got these pit stalkers following me, and I'll get this woman. She's trying to get in close, you know, long story short. But she's sitting there with me in McDonald's, and she's telling me the story that her people, yeah, that, you know, come from, like, some kings and whatever, you know, back in the day, hold grudges and curses and all this sort of shit, basically telling me that I was, you know, cursed or I'd been fucking whatever because of some feud of years ago. Do you know what I mean? She's basically telling me that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a lot of it. But you've got to investigate it. You know, I don't know everything, like I said. You know, I wish I fucking did. And if I could inject the information into everyone, I could. But, you know, I've got 39 people here, and that's nothing. You know what I mean? If I could broadcast it, you know, on the news like the Freemasons can and keep the narrative, you know, they ain't going to let me walk in on a truther group. Well, they kicked me out of truther groups, you know what I mean? They ain't going to let me do a David Icke, do you know what I mean? and stand at the front of a rally and talk about Freemasonry or all what I've talked about tonight, because they don't want me to, they want you to keep being sheep and keeping in line. Oh, sorry, I got my hand over that. I'm going to just turn around a minute. I'm still here, my profane friends. But they don't want that, you know what I mean? They don't want you turned away, or anything. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm bloody knackered. I'm laying down. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just mad, isn't it? You know what I mean? The way they get away with it. You know what I mean? But no one questions it, do they? Because again, what goes in their favour, right, is the isolation. Do you see what I mean? Like, we're a big crowd, yeah? You can say we're all a big crowd, profane people, but when they want us, they're wolves, yeah? And they're a syndicate, yeah? So you can have up to, and I'm fucking serious, you can have up to, it doesn't matter, you can have up to 50 people follow you, yeah? And they can have one on each street corner as you go to wherever you fucking want, to go, yeah? And then while you're out, they can come in your house and do whatever, put cameras in and all that sort of thing. Or they can slowly put things on your handles of your door, so you're always touching your face, ain't you? And then you're putting, slowly you're putting poison into your face, you know what I mean? Or it absorbs into your skin to make you ill. Do you see what I mean? They do things like that. But people don't realise it, you know what I mean? The monolithic things these Freemasons do and the way they think. Do you know what I mean? Remember, you got to remember, these people strangle their own children in their beds so they can't take over the inheritance of their kingship or anything like that. You know what I mean? Remember, these people are ruthless. Do you know what I mean? They used to torture people in chambers and things like that. You know what I mean? You're not talking about, people of this and people of that. These are still doing it to fucking day, Do you know what I mean? And they're tricking people all the time, and they're putting gangs, they control gangs, but the gangs, they keep the war between gangs going because it's a distraction, you know what I mean? So long as the gangs are concentrating on fighting each other, like football, the biggest distraction ever, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Someone with a yellow shirt will fight someone with a red shirt. Do you know what I mean? But again, football came from Freemason lodges. Do you see what I mean? It was the lodge team, you know what I mean? But obviously they didn't advertise they're the lodge team, but that's where the crests come from. Again, like the Norwich is the Canaries, do you know what I mean? So, that's a hair, that's a banner, a heirloom or whatever the fuck it is, a heraldry, do you know what I mean? A call to banner, you know what I mean? The gun is like in London or, Liverpool is a phoenix, or something, I don't know, or whatever. But, they're all called bad and they're all Masonic lodges, yeah? And like I said, again, the people are tricked and whatever, and they think, oh, whatever, and they think that's a profane. No, that's just a distraction of bread and water for the profane. Do you know what I mean? Same as horse racing, same as boxing. If you do the history and look behind it and who runs it today, you'll find it's all Freemasonry. Why? Because there's money. You know what I mean? They run your casinos. Do you know what I mean? They run your amusement arcades. Do you know what I mean? And that's, and again, it's all in the history. You got to read your criminal. What the hell was that? Something. Oh, it's that pen. But, it's all in the history books. Like I said earlier, if you look at Wilf Pine, the Englishman who brought the mafia to an Englishman and the mafia, he brought the mafia to meet the Cray twins. Yeah. But Wilf Pine used to run Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne and that, and he sold the bands what he had to another criminal who lived in Soho. Do you know what I mean? That's what run the bands today. They're still the same criminals, and there's, and if you like listen to, again, she's on my forum, Daniela Westbrook, in the interview with the other criminal who was interviewing her, ex-criminal, but he's like well popular with his, bloody whatever. He's asking, like, didn't you miss sitting there with all the criminals and the fucking whatever, and the bloody, and the movie stars and all that. Do you know what I mean? And she's gone, nah. Do you know what I mean? But again, you know, she goes, some people, you know, on her wedding day or wedding night took her away and put her in rehab or whatever they fucking did. She had to sign a house of her and blah, blah, this, that and the fucking other. You know, that's all there. It's all Freemasonry. Anyway, my profane friends, I'm going to bloody sleep. It's bloody daylight here. Do you know what I mean? I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. Mel Gibson, Sound of Freedom, yeah. Anadochrome, yeah, that's right. If all group sources are corrupt, they are. Do not your own form. What do you mean your own form? Wait there. Does that include your own form? I don't know. Again, you've got to research everything, haven't you? If all group sources are corrupt. No, they're not all corrupt. What I'm saying is most are corrupt and controlled by Freemasons, yeah? And the only reason you see many groups, yeah? Every avenue of help for a profane person is closed by Freemasonry. You got the doctor, that's a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? So anything you're reporting to him, he's there to see that you ain't fucking, you know, coming away from the herd or doing something, reporting on another Freemason or one of their schemes that they're, you know, you found a paedophile ring or something like that. So that's why Freemasons are doctors, do you know what I mean? Same as the police, do you know what I mean? And when they want to shut an investigation around, they try and enforce that by bringing a woman into the situation, which is an Eastern Star. You know, I could go on and on like that, you know. But where was I? I lost my track there. But wait a minute. That does, yeah, groups, yeah. So what they do, this is why you've got a lot of groups online, you know, like you've got ones for, you know, help you, I'm trying to think, like for, you know, just like say for that flat earth and that, you know, what have you, they're trying to steer the narrative, right? So if you've got 1,000 people for flat earth, right? Yeah. On one group, right? That's the narrative, isn't it? Just for that group. Yeah. The leader says what to do and he deletes whoever he needs, yeah? But they don't want that, do you know what I mean? Because that's fucking a people, that's united. They don't want that. So what they do, they order their little Masons and they're paid for this to make up other groups, yeah? So that 1,000 people now spread against 10 other groups, yeah? You've now watered that group down from 1,000 strong to 100 strong in each group. Do you see what I mean? And that's what Freemasonry basically does. Water the population down to keep the divide and the conquer. You know what I mean? And then they start slagging each other's groups off and things like that. Or start an argument within the group. You know what I mean? Then people go, oh, I'm leaving because of this and I'm leaving because... Do you know what I mean? And then your avenues of where you're going to join or what group you're going to go to is limited. Do you see what I mean? You know, and that's how they do it, and or close the group down or fucking whatever, you know what I mean? Or the, you know, the person who owns the group gets sick of them fucking keep pissing around and all the rest of it. But that's all to do with Freemasonry, do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about. You know, that's what they do. But like I said, if there's 1,000 people, but you've got 100 Freemasons making the groups, do you see what I mean? How much... You see what I mean? You've got the narrative and you're the majority as fucking usual, like with the Tories and the Conservatives being infiltrated all by Freemasonry. When they do a vote, yeah, or a discussion, they sway it by the majority of the numbers because people go, oh, I don't know, maybe they are right. I don't want to feel stupid and I don't want to be standing here on my own with these 2 or 3 people when I want to be with all these that are saying this. Do you see what I mean? So again, they're dominating the narrative through groups. Do you know what I mean? I do rattle on, don't I? You know what I mean, my profane friends? Right, let's have a look. Does that include your own form? Well, no, not my own form, because my forum basically is a statement, my statement, yeah? There's no discussion on it. There's no one saying this, that and the other or debating, you know, anything I've said, because everything I've said is a fucking fact. It can be looked up, it can be researched, do you know what I mean? There's no lie on my forum, do you know what I mean? But you ask a Freemason about it, you go ask all hogwash and bullshit, but it's all, you know, your own newspapers, you know, and all different clips from different things in your own books and what have you. So, you know, that's from you, you know. I didn't put you in the paper for paedophilia. You did. Your people did that because they're dishonest. Do you know what I mean? You know, all the coke flying around Westminster, that wasn't me. That's your drug dealers who were dealing coke to the fucking people within Westminster. Do you see what I mean? I haven't done none of that. I've just blatted out the truth of what I know, and that's it. I haven't done it. That's all you lot. The only difference is there's no newspapers reporting it. You're not seeing it on the news. All I've done, is gone up and put everything you corrupt fuckers do all around the UK and the world and put it all in one group, my group, that is uncorruptible from you lot destroying it, because I've, obviously cleverly put it all together as one thing. It's been copied, so even if you took it down, it would go up, bounce straight back up. Do you know what I mean? And I'd upload it as it is to hundreds of people in a torrent sites, do you know what I mean? And sharing sites, do you know what I mean? So that would spread like wildfire anyway, so that ain't going to work anyway. Like I said, all my videos are already on torrent sites, do you know what I mean? Everything I do, I put on torrent sites, do you know what I mean? So they're downloaded hundreds of times already, and I wake one profane person a day, I hope, 2, a bonus. If it's more, brilliant. But like I said, I haven't got the narrative of the Freemasons. But remember, I'm up against, in my town, maybe 600-700 Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And they can easy follow me around town, which they do. They know who I am anyway. Do you know what I mean? And you can see him in my videos, There's one weird dude, do you know what I mean? He was a high up ranker, you know what I mean? And I've seen them 3 times in my life, the same sort of movements of these dudes, you know what I mean? And they're dangerous, and he's a high up Freemason anyway, but I got him on film. There's a few of them I've filmed anyway over the years, but, and he shot, once I filmed him, he shot across the town, do you know what I mean? But that's another story. But yeah, I'm followed by him all the time. But, you think about it, you've got a corrupt lodge with 50 men. Fucking hell, we're talking, they don't give 2 shits about me, do you know what I mean? But they know who I am, what I drive, what I don't drive, where I go, do you know what I mean? And, so you think I'm aware of it, right? You think of people that ain't aware of Freemasonry or anything else, they don't even think they're being followed or watched or even being aware of it. Do you know what I mean? The games these people play, do you know what I mean? Within society and and within your communities, do you know what I mean? God, I rattle on, don't I? I was going to fucking end it there. I am going to end it. I'm going to say goodbye in a minute, so be ready, guys. I am a Mason, Drom, North Wales. Cool. Yeah, I'm not against Masons. I'm against the bad Masons. Right, sick, twisted world right now. Yes, it is. This is all lies. It's not all lies. Yes, it is. No, it ain't. Enlighten me. As what's going on in the world right now says different. Tracy, just go to my forum. Nazon, Zazon, Boney, baby. Or just watch my TikTok videos. There's links in there to everything, And once you learn what Freemasonry is and the symbolism, like, you go down your local high street and I'll show you the symbolism all above the doors. Do you know what I mean? Because it denotes the ranks of the shops. Do you know what I mean? They've learned all this. They're now covering it all up now. If you watch, they're covering it up. But they run your pubs, they run your clubs, they run you know what I mean? They run everything. Do you know what I mean? And the sad thing is, as profane people, we go have a nice time in the club, and we send our children to the pubs and the clubs, right? But you walk in the pub and the clubs, the local ones, yeah, and you got a geezer there with a bag of weed going, do you want some of this? Do you want some of that? And selling drugs to your kids, you know what I mean? And there are the influences within the community that are selling drugs to your kids in the pubs and the clubs, because the criminals own the pubs and the clubs, do you know what I mean? And the doormen let the drug dealers in, do you know what I mean? That are running for the same thing. And if you do the research on it, it all leads back to the Masonic Lodge, do you see what I mean? Because they want a dumb, drugged up population that can't think. Do you know what I mean? So the government loves that. Do you know what I mean? Because it keeps the lords, dukes and earls in positions of power. Do you know what I mean? As they always done. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. That's the conspiracy. Right. Like Diana, yeah. Princess Diana, killed by them because she spoke out. Do you know what I mean? You can't speak out against these people. So what happened? We cause an accident, yeah? And then what happens? The first responders in the ambulance, who are they? Freemasons. You know what I mean? Boom. End of story, innit? You know what I mean? Crazy stuff. The government is Freemasonry. Go on my forum and look at the UK section, yeah? It tells you everyone in government who's a Freemason, including your judges and everyone else. Yeah, the government is corrupt anyway. The government is corrupt anyway, and if you look at all governments, it's all to do with Freemasonry. The Freemasons need to be ousted because they're the ones on the agenda to keep the power for the lords, the dukes, and the earls above, which are the Illuminati and all the ruling class families. Yeah, without the Freemasons, yeah, doing their secret work within the town halls and within the police force, they would have no one to answer to. Do you know what I mean? There wouldn't be anyone for them to answer to. Do you know what I mean? And justice would be served for all profane people. Because if anything goes, like I said, if it's a Freemason or a profane person, the Freemason is going to come out winning because the profane doesn't get justice. They never do. Because you're all brothers and sisters. Charles shouldn't even be the king because he's got to answer the treasonous charges of his mum. Do you know what I mean? She was put on notice years ago and took to trial. She never signed the papers or anything, and so he's not even true. That was just a farce. That was. He can't be a king because he hasn't answered the treasonous charges of what happened years ago. Lowestoft, yeah, that's down the road, Dave. David gets away with it because he's a Freemason. Same as you might as well just say, why did Epstein get away with it? Why did I'm trying to think of other people, oh God, all of them presidents, all of them people, why do they get away with it all the time? Do you know what I mean? Because there's a big Masonic shush up. Do you know what I mean? Seeing as people get together, have drinks and food and collect money for charity. Yeah, that is what you see. That's what everyone sees, yeah? But it's behind it, isn't it? Yeah? No one's investigating Freemasonry and no one's looking at the corrupt buggers within, are they? Do you know what I mean? Because then it tells a different story. But, like I said, read my UK section and worldwide piece and it'll show you the true movement of Freemasonry. Do the Shriners, search Shriners, they're all the same. Trafficking children and prostitutes and all the rest of it. Even your wives on my forum, if you look at the wives, my husband's suitcase, your case was supposed to hold the Masonic apron that was full jam packed with rubber johnnies. Do you know what I mean? For all the brothers at the hotel. Can you explain? Can you explain what user? I don't know what you're asking. You just said, can you explain? Yeah, the Ross Pliers sure sound like a Lowestoft lad. No, that's up the road. I'm Galston, mate. Lanky James. Yeah, no, I'm Galston, mate. Great Yarmouth. But standards must never drop. It's that. Yeah, again, I don't get into that 5G. Again, the 5G's there because Freemasonry wants it there, you know what I mean, through the Masonic Lodge, do you know what I mean? So they're like I said, anything that's getting put up, 5G, chemtrails, that's all to do with Freemasonry, do you know what I mean? All of it. You know what I mean? If you do this research. If you look at the last 100 years, yeah, and it's on my forum again, yeah, Freemasonry has been in charge of everything, yeah, from Napoleon time, yeah. Look at all the wars, yeah, including the First World War, the Second World War. They're responsible for everything, all the deaths, all the holocausts, the fucking lot, yeah. Freemasonry is responsible for that, but they're still in power secretly in every town hall and council chamber, parish councils for the last 100 years. Yeah, let's just say for the last 50 years, right? So are you going to allow for what's been going on for the last 50 years, let alone the last 3 years, right, of what they did? Are you going to allow them to go another 10 years or another 20 years or another 30 with your children coming up? Do you see what I mean? But you will, because you're profane and they know that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm clever, ain't I? Everything I do is to do with anti-Freemasonry, you know what I mean? And everything, and I know, like with the hand sign, you know, the Illuminati with the high eye, do you know what I mean? That's all their signs. Everything I do is their signage, you know. You know, I mean, you know, they do the square and compass with their hands, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? Here we go. Wait there. Let me just cover up a minute. Right, and then I'm going to bed in a minute. I've had enough. I'm fucking knackered. Like this, look. Right, here we go. Right. I did some drawing earlier. You know what I mean? But that's what Freemasonry is. Look at my sticky posts and you'll see how they come up with that, yeah? Which is 6 points, which equals 666. You know what I mean? Well, I'll show you. Anyway, but what I want to show you... you pull that out of there. Right, is this, yeah? I'm not a very good drawer, sorry. So you'll have to bear with me. Wait a minute. Let me think I'm going to do this. Right. Right, so, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. That's it. And then you go like this. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bear with me. Wait a minute. Oh my God, so it's like that. So wait a minute, I've gone backwards, didn't I? Yeah, I've done it backwards. What a twat. Right, okay, so I've done it backwards, so let's imagine it round the other way, so it don't matter. Right, so that's that. Wait a minute. Oh God. Right, so, right, I'm going to have to do this another way. Wait there, my profane friends, I'm going to show you. Right, now I can't see whether you can see that or not, so wait there. Let me have a look. Wait there, let me try and do this. Wait a minute, my profane friends, because it is important that you see this, yeah? There's a Masonic gang sign, yeah? Right, yeah, I found it. Right, wait there. Oh, I know what to do. Wait a minute, I found it. Wait there. How do I do this? Right, okay, we do it like this. Wait a minute, bear with me. Like I said, I'm not a professional, okay? Right, here we go. Right, that's it, I believe. Yeah, right, now watch this, okay? Now watch, this is the Masonic gang sign, right? This is what they do behind you, right? There. See the square and compass? There's your compass, yeah? And then this angle here, and this angle here is your square and compass, look. See? Square and compass. That's their Masonic gang sign, that is. Okay, do you see it? Square and compass, look. See? And then you can take that one further. Oh, I don't like putting my face on, but I will for you, just for doing the gang sign. Do you know what I mean, my profane friends? See? That's their gang sign. Square and compass. You see what I mean? But anyway, and you'll see them do that gang sign all the time. Do you know what I mean? That did make me laugh. Right, so right, I like what you do with your profile picture, but that's what that is, you know, that's a gang sign. Right, yeah, the Crusades, what the Crusades were, I think there was like 6 knights that patrolled like 2,000 miles of bloody, roads Do you know what I mean? To protect the pilgrims and that. But what actually happened? Actually, just go look at my my video on. Here it is. I've got a video. Like I said, I've got I've got a video for everything I have. Let me just do this. Wait a minute. Where they did the what they used to do is rob the pilgrims. You know, that's the true story. That see, I'm the first person to ever do a blood spatter test on a Masonic apron. Can you believe that? But anyway, we're not doing that. Yeah, if you want to see what that is, go there. Look, Masonic police symbolism. You know what I mean? You'll find out what your police are. Wait a minute. And then you've got people like this, you see, victims of Masonic ill treatment that are taken to the Masonic lodge, yeah, and abused. You know what I mean? They're telling you they've been taken to the Uggle, you know, the United Grand Lodge of Freemasons, and abused, you know what I mean, by Freemasons. Secret tunnels, you know, Norwich Town Hall, that, you know, I'll show you how the Freemasons run that. How it's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, mate. What was I going to try and show you? The Knights Templar, weren't it? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, a true story. The Knights Templars. Look, it's only a short one. How long is it?
I'm exasperated that the story. Let me turn this around. Wait a minute. Let me turn this around.
Let me see if I can do this. I'm not very good at this. You know that.
I can get my mask off and then people can hear me. Right. This is the true story of the Knights Templars, right? And they used to protect the pilgrims, right? Obviously, it's a ritual here. I'll take you through this in a minute, right? That's for the second degree.
Well, anyway, I'm going to. I'll let you research that, but that's the true story of the Knights Templars. Yeah?
Anyway,
go watch it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, if I don't show you that, then you know I can show you a little bit more stuff on here, can't I? Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Like this lady here, look, you know.
Freemasons once a month. There would be other children. I would be put into a van and taken to Freemasons once a month. There would be other children. Satanic ritual abuse would take place. My grandmother, his mother, and one of his sisters were tasked with the responsibility of teaching me about how to be the best child worker I could be. The first at the hands of my father occurred when I was 4 years old, and I remember him
I know. She's
pushing
a liar.
me to the ground.
She's talking shit. Do you see what I mean? You know?
People want to bust way down before you get bum rushed. When I'm rolling into the when I'm strolling into the
again, more victims in Masonic ill treatment.
In the 6 females, they are believed to be Heather Glendinning, who's 46 years of age.
See what I mean? And it's all to do with children, do you see what I mean? And they're not saying this for nothing, but you say that to Freemate, oh, don't go on in my lodge, they're talking shit, they've been drinking, they're on drugs, do you know what I mean? And this is the only thing Freemasons say about anyone and everything that talks out against them, do you know what I mean? Well, like I said, go through my videos, you know, and see, you know, again, look, I'll show you, like, how symbolism gets into your house, 666 on lampshades, you know what I mean? Shit like that. In fact, wait there. If you give me 2 seconds, I might have it fucking here. You know what I mean? I might have it here for you. No, in here. I thought I had it here. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'll show you how they sneak the symbolism and on your products. Do you know what I mean? Look at it. Watch the videos, you know. How it's in your houses, on your telly, you know, all in your films. You know what I mean? The 232 and the 323. How they raped kids. 500 kids they raped. And not one mention of Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? How they're responsible for all different wars. But you ask the Freemasons, the guy's shit, as talking rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Right, anyway, I'm going to bed. Have a great day. Remember, I love you all. And what do? How do I switch off? I don't know how to turn it off, man. Do you know what I mean? Host, what does host mean? What's that? Oh, go live with others. I don't understand that. Fuck that. Right, I'm now going, my profane friends. Remember, I love you all. Does it save this or not? Or does it just, that's the end of it, is it? I suppose. I don't know. Exactly. So when they start a war and kill hundreds and thousands of people, do you know what I mean? Then you've done a big Masonic ritual of mass destruction and killing. You're going to get a big kudos for that, ain't you? I mean, look at the kudos Stalin, Churchill, and Hitler got for their war. Do you know what I mean? Crazy, isn't it? All funded by Rothschild Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, my profane friends, have a great day. How do I switch off? Do I just turn it off or what? I don't even know how to go. Flip camera, comment, gift, treasure box. I don't get none of that. Right, I'm going anyway. I love you all. Be good.